Chapter 595. This dragon abyss is truly filled with dangers and opportunities. The value of this spirit flower definitely exceeds that of a pseudo-Dao core. If it appeared in the outside world, it would definitely cause beast emperors to fight for it. Yu Zhongtian stared at the spirit flower with a burning gaze. If he had not sensed the dangerous aura in the lake, he would have long since charged forward to snatch it. Yi Chunfeng, can you sense any danger in this lake? Yu Zhongtian walked over to Yi Chunfeng and asked softly. If my senses are not wrong, there should be a level 8 heavenly beast residing in this deep lake. Yi Chunfeng said solemnly as he retracted his soul that had entered the lake. 8th level heavenly beast. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, everyone sucked in a deep breath, their expressions changing. An 8th level heavenly beast was equivalent to a 3rd level beast emperor expert, and its power was far above the rest of them. If it was angered, it could bring about a devastating disaster. However, the allure of the spirit flower was too great, and they were not willing to give up just like that. The 8th level heavenly beast in this lake is an overlord crocodile. Although it is powerful, it is not some desolate beast, and it does not possess any saint beast or divine beast bloodline. If we all work together, it is not impossible to kill it. I wonder which one of you is willing to join me in killing it? Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and asked. If we kill the overlord crocodile, how should we split the spirit flower? Yu Zhongtian's eyes rolled as he asked. The spirit flower on the overlord crocodile's body, we'll all fight for it based on our own abilities. Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and suggested. Alright, we agree. Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu thought for a moment before nodding. We also have no objections. Mo Wang, Mo Qianxin and Mo Baifeng exchanged glances, not having any objections. 8 Small speak. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng and the rest had decided to take the risk to kill the overlord crocodile, He Shi, 2G, Ying and the rest did not shrink back, and they all stayed behind. Although they were clear that even if they managed to kill the giant crocodile, with their current power level, they would not be able to obtain the spirit flower. However, a level 8 heavenly beast's entire body was filled with treasures, and to be able to obtain the good fortune of a level 8 heavenly beast was not a bad gain. Since everyone has agreed to stay and kill the giant crocodile, let's discuss a plan. Yu Zhongtian, you and Yu Bingyu should have an array diagram that complements each other, right? Yi Chunfeng asked. Yes. Yu Zhongtian raised an eyebrow. He quickly exchanged a glance with Yu Bingyu and nodded. Although the offensive formation diagram was one of their strongest trump cards, in order to obtain the spirit flower, they had no choice but to expose it to Yi Chunfeng. Although this giant crocodile's defense is astonishing, it also has weaknesses. Its weaknesses are its eyes, neck, and left abdomen. In a while, we'll lure the giant crocodile out. Me, Yu Zhongtian, and Yu Bingyu will attract its attacks. The rest of us will spread out and attack its weak point. We'll try to injure it heavily before it changes into its battle form. That way, we'll have a chance to kill it. Yi Chunfeng laid out a detailed plan based on the God-Eater Brain's analysis of the giant crocodile. Alright. Everyone replied in unison. Let's go. The 3 of us will lure that giant crocodile out. The rest of you will be on standby. After speaking, Yi Chunfeng and the other 2 flew above the deep lake and released a powerful aura that permeated the void. Roar. Sensing Yi Chunfeng and the other 2's aura, the rank 8 heavenly beast giant crocodile that had guarded the spirit flower for God knows how many years was roused. A powerful roar pierced through the deep lake, creating a large silver water pillar that shot into the void and bombarded Yi Chunfeng and the other 2. Dual polarity ancient heavenly water ice seal. As the silver water pillar and sound wave assaulted them, Yi Chunfeng immediately released the dual polarity ancient heavenly water and ancient heavenly water, fusing them together to form a new heavenly water, the dual polarity ancient heavenly water. Kacha. The dual polarity ancient heavenly water formed from the fusion of two heavenly waters was extremely powerful. When it hit the silver water pillar, it immediately froze it, greatly weakening the sound wave. And his heavenly water has evolved. Feeling the destructive power of the dual polarity ancient heavenly water, Yu Zhongtian's expression changed slightly, revealing a look of astonishment. However, at this moment, he did not have much time to think. The giant crocodile that was over 50 meters long, and its mouth alone was more than 10 meters long. Its entire body was covered in black iron-like skin as it emerged from the cold lake. Lowly humans, you dare to disturb my slumber. Die for me. The giant crocodile opened its blood-red eyes and stared at Yi Chunfeng and the other two. It spoke in human language, and a terrifying aura fluctuated in the void. Dense water ripples appeared, suffocating and terrifying everyone. Attack! Yi Chunfeng did not waste any words with the giant crocodile. A blood dragon shadow appeared on his body, and he did not hesitate to ignite his dragon bloodline, increasing his soul power by 3 times and transforming into his beast soul form. The instant Yi Chunfeng transformed into his beast soul form, Yu Zhongtian summoned an offensive formation diagram that floated beneath his and Yu Bingyu's feet, merging their strength and increasing their offensive power. Roar! A world-shaking sound wave like a surging tsunami shot out from the giant crocodile's mouth, distorting space and bombarding Yi Chunfeng and the other two. Wrath of Divine Punishment. Yi Chunfeng immediately used his Wrath of Divine Punishment to meet the giant crocodile's sound wave. The dual polarity ancient heavenly water had greatly increased the offensive power of the Wrath of Divine Punishment, causing its attack power to become even more terrifying. Rumble! The instant the two powerful attacks collided, a boundless energy immediately leaked out, causing the entire lake to churn violently, setting off huge waves that soared into the sky. Ghost God Claw. Just as the two terrifying energies leaked out in midair, Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu attacked at the same time. Tao intent gushed out from their bodies, fusing together with surging soul power, forming a huge ghost claw. The dark Tao intent coiled around the fingers, breaking through the destructive energy and grabbing at the giant crocodile. Attack! While Yi Chunfeng and the other two were attacking the giant crocodile, He Tuji, Mo Wuang, and the others did not waste any time. They all flew around the giant crocodile, using all their skills to attack its weak point. Roar! Despicable humans, I want you all dead! As its weak points were constantly attacked by Mo Wuang and the others, the giant crocodile was enraged. A pitch-black demonic energy shot out from its mouth, twisting space and bombarding Yi Chunfeng and the others. Mysterious underworld Tao. Dancing heavenly devil shadow. Yi Chunfeng and the others did not dodge the black demonic energy that the giant crocodile spat out. They all used their Tao intense and powerful Tao techniques to defend against it. However, the giant crocodile's strength was too terrifying. Their Tao techniques were unable to block the demonic energy released by the giant crocodile. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng took out his quasi-Tao treasure Vermilion Bird Cauldron and controlled it to smash the black demonic energy. Heavenly Treasure, Ancient Compass. Heavenly Treasure, Demonic Needle. When Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang saw Yi Chunfeng take out his Vermilion Bird Cauldron, they did not hold back either. They all took out their respective heavenly treasures to attack the giant crocodile, forcefully suppressing its ferocious attack. Under the ferocious attacks of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Ancient Compass, and Demonic Needle, as well as Mo Wuang, He Tuji, and the others, the Grade 8 Heavenly Beast giant crocodile was forcefully suppressed. Streams of blood flowed out from its eyes, neck and abdomen, dyeing the deep lake beneath it red. As its injuries worsened, the Grade 8 Heavenly Beast was enraged and let out a deafening roar. As the demonic core in its body completely exploded, the giant crocodile transformed into its strongest half-human, half-beast combat form. I want all of you to die. Exuding a suffocating aura, the nearly 10-meter-tall giant crocodile roared. It held a long black whip in its hand and attacked Yi Chunfeng and the others with a murderous aura. It wanted to kill them, eat their flesh, and drink their blood. For those who wish to read the latest chapters of this book, please head to the Gathered Cloud Pavilion or visit on mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to read it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 596. 8 Slaughtering Azura Technique, Massacre Halo. The Battleform Overlord Crocodile attacked as Yi Chunfeng immediately congealed 5 Massacre Halos, greatly increasing his attack power. Eternal Night. Yi Chunfeng's attack power increased tremendously. 40 Sword Dao patterns and 20 Thunder Dao patterns were infused into the ruler armament. Yi Chunfeng fiercely thrust out his sword, and a black sword light that was infused with 12 million kilograms of strength and the power of slaughter slashed out. It slashed towards the giant crocodile that was close to him. For a moment, the sky turned pitch black as all the light was devoured by the Eternal Night sword light. The terrifying sword prowess was terrifying. Facing the Eternal Night sword light head-on, the Overlord Crocodile's tail whip was forcefully blocked. Sky Dancing Devil Technique, Sky Dancing Moon Shadow. At this moment, Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu's demonic shadows fused together, forming a demonic moon shadow. It cut through the air and struck the Overlord Crocodile's body at close range. Great Demon Slaying Dragon Blade. Crazed Demon 9 Axes. Ancient Shadow Assassination. The terrifying Overlord Crocodile was pushed back by Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu. Mo Wang and the others used their Dao skills one after another, continuously attacking the Overlord Crocodile's body and destroying its scales. Large amounts of blood spurted out from the Overlord Crocodile's mouth. Roar! Roar! The injuries on its body continued to worsen as the Overlord Crocodile fell into a frenzy. It let out earth-shattering roars as its huge and strong body kept spinning, creating countless whip shadows that lashed out in all directions, forcing Yi Chunfeng and the others to retreat. I will suppress it. You guys attack with all your might. Seeing the Overlord Crocodile attacking like a whirlwind, Yi Chunfeng flew up and appeared 10 meters above the Overlord Crocodile's head. He summoned the Vermilion Bird Cauldron that was burning with flames. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, suppress. Yi Chunfeng continuously spat out essence blood and infused it into the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, stimulating the Vermilion Bird Cauldron's power and suppressing the frenzied Overlord Crocodile. Screech. Following a high-pitched cry, the soul of the Vermilion Bird appeared in the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. It descended from the sky with unstoppable force, ruthlessly suppressing the crazed crocodile. Under the suppression of the Quasi-Dao treasure, the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, the great crocodile's black whip shadows shattered one after another. The scorching power released from the Vermilion Bird Cauldron bombarded the great crocodile's strong body with overwhelming force, suppressing its attacks and damaging its body. Eternal Silence Millstone. While the giant crocodile was being suppressed by the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu borrowed the power of the formation diagram to fuse their soul power and Dao intent into one. They condensed a millstone that could crush the void and ruthlessly smashed into the giant crocodile's body. Kachacha, under the full power attack of the silent millstone, the black scales on the giant crocodile's chest were continuously crushed. The terrifying power of deathly stillness surged into its body like a tide, bombarding its chest into a bloody mess. While the giant crocodile was being heavily injured by Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu, Mo Wang and Mo Qianxin quickly condensed the myriad transformations Black Lotus. He Shi, 2G, Ing, and the others also fiercely attacked the giant crocodile's chest, further aggravating its injuries. The giant crocodile's injuries continued to worsen. It spat out several mouthfuls of demonic blood that merged into the crocodile tail whip. It fiercely threw it at Yu Zhongtian and the others. Not good dodge. As the crocodile tail whip flew over, Yu Zhongtian and the others smelled a dense aura of death. Their expressions greatly changed, and they all dodged. Despicable humans, go to hell! The giant crocodile roared and detonated the crocodile tail transformation that its tail had transformed into. A destructive force exploded out like a flood, sweeping towards Yu Zhongtian and the others. PFFF. PFFF. Caught off guard, Ziyun, Kuei, Mo Baifeng, and Xie Lushao, who were relatively weaker, were directly sent flying several hundred meters away. Their bodies were badly mangled as they fell to the ground, practically losing their ability to fight. As for Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wang and the others, although they had used their strength to block most of the explosive force, they had still been injured by the crocodile tail whip. Large amounts of blood sprayed out of their mouths, and they had suffered heavy injuries. 8th level heavenly beasts are truly not easy to deal with. Seeing the injured Yu Zhongtian and the others, Yi Chunfeng revealed a grave expression. He spared no expense to continue injecting his blood essence into the vermilion bird cauldron, borrowing its power to suppress the giant crocodile. As for Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wang and the others, they quickly stabilized their injuries and charged once more, using all their strength to kill the giant crocodile. As time passed, the battle became more and more intense. The destructive force in the air caused the entire space to become chaotic. After more than 2 hours of intense fighting, Yi Chunfeng and the others were all injured to varying degrees. Their soul force was severely depleted, and the giant crocodile's injuries were even more severe. All of its scales had been destroyed, and there were many holes in its body. Its entire chest was a bloody mess, and white bones could be seen. Persevere, continue to attack. This giant crocodile is already an arrow at the end of its flight. We will be able to kill it soon. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and continued to control the vermilion bird cauldron to attack the giant crocodile with all its might. At the same time, Yu Zhongtian, Yun Tianyu, and Mo Wang also controlled their 3 heavenly treasures to bombard the giant crocodile's body. After another hour, the heavily injured giant crocodile could no longer maintain its battle form, and was struck by the vermilion bird cauldron. It transformed back into its true form and directly fell into the turbulent lake. Dual polarity ancient heavenly water ice seal. Just as the heavily injured giant crocodile was about to escape into the lake, the dual polarity ancient heavenly water shot out of Yi Chunfeng's body and into the lake, directly freezing the entire lake. Boom! The giant crocodile's huge body smashed into the ice, forcibly creating a 10-meter deep hole in the ice. Take advantage of this opportunity to kill it. The moment the giant crocodile fell into the ice pit, Yi Chunfeng and the others did not waste this golden opportunity. They all controlled the vermilion bird cauldron, the ancient compass, and the blood skull to attack. At the same time, Mo Qianxin, He Shi, 2G, and the others also used their strongest Dao techniques to attack. Boom! 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 Following a series of explosions, more than half of the giant crocodile's body was blasted into pieces, revealing the unhealed demon core in its heart. It was almost dead. Boss, snatch that demon core. It is very useful to me. Sensing the demon core of the giant crocodile, the Chaos Divine Beast urged anxiously. Alright. Yi Chunfeng nodded. In a flash, he rushed towards the giant crocodile's body and snatched its most precious demon core and heart. At the same time, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang also rushed towards the spirit flower in the center of the lake. They both wanted to take this extremely valuable spirit flower for themselves. Break for me! Yu Zhongtian roared. His spear tore through the restrictions around the spirit flower like a hot knife through butter. A refreshing fragrance permeated the air. However, the moment the restrictions were broken, a thunderous sound suddenly rang out and reverberated in their ears. Wait, don't touch it! After successfully obtaining the giant crocodile's demon core and heart, Yi Chunfeng rushed into the air and suddenly shouted at the two of them. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's voice, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang instinctively trembled. They stopped and looked at the spirit flower cautiously, thinking that there was danger around it. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng, who had ignited his golden rock bloodline, quickly flew over. Before they could react, he plucked the spirit flower and kept it in his universe mirror. Readers who want to read the latest chapters of this book, please head to the Gathered Cloud Pavilion or visit the website on your mobile phone. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to read it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blogs, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 597. Return the soul flower to me. When Yu Zhongtian saw that Yi Chunfeng had taken advantage of his hesitation to pluck the spirit flower, he immediately knew that he had been tricked. His face turned ashen and his lungs nearly exploded. He was like an enraged lion, glaring at Yi Chunfeng with blood-red eyes and roaring loudly, unable to restrain his anger. Not only was Yu Zhongtian furious, but Mo Wuang was also enraged. Veins popped out on his forehead, and a towering rage spread out from his body, locking onto Yi Chunfeng. Why should I give the soul flower to you? Yi Chunfeng ignored Mo Wuang's rage and said playfully, "Didn't we just discuss that we would fight for it with our own abilities? Did you forget? Yi Chunfeng, you despicable person! This soul flower should have been mine." A never-before-experienced humiliation and anger filled Yu Zhongtian's heart. He faintly couldn't control his anger, and he wanted to attack and snatch the soul flower that was extremely useful to him. "How am I despicable?" Yi Chunfeng sneered and mocked. "I was just casually shouting. Who knew you would take it seriously? You were so scared that you didn't even dare to move." "Yi Chunfeng, die for me." The soul flower had been snatched away, and Yi Chunfeng was still mocking him. Yu Zhongtian could no longer control his anger. With a roar, he stabbed the earth-splitting spear at Yi Chunfeng. The moment Yu Zhongtian attacked, the furious Mo Wuang also attacked. A large amount of dark Dao patterns condensed into 10 streams of death energy that cut through the air, sealing off any space Yi Chunfeng could dodge. God-Devil Bloodline Ignition, God-Devil Body. Facing Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang's attacks at the same time, the exhausted Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to ignite his God-Devil bloodline and transform into his strongest God-Devil body. He forcibly raised his defense to the level of a peak-grade heaven artifact to block their fierce attack. "Zhongtian, stop. Now is not the time to be impulsive." Yu Bingyu, who had snatched away part of the giant crocodile's sharp teeth and brain, saw Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang crazily attacking Yi Chunfeng. She frowned and shouted at them. "Today I will definitely destroy him." Blinded by anger, Yu Zhongtian ignored Yu Bingyu and roared. He burned his bloodline power and attacked Yi Chunfeng with all his strength. It's still not certain who will destroy who. Yi Chunfeng burst forth with a force of 22 million kilograms as he wielded the monarch weapon and charged forward. While he resisted the duo's ferocious attacks, he circulated the sword Dao pattern to counterattack with all his might. In order to kill the giant crocodile, Yi Chunfeng had expended a lot of energy. Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang had also expended a lot of energy. The three of them fought fiercely for an incense stick's worth of time before the powerful Yi Chunfeng gradually suppressed the two of them, forcing them to retreat. Ancient Compass, Blood Skull, attack. With their attacks suppressed by Yi Chunfeng, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang immediately controlled their two heavenly treasures to attack, wanting to heavily injure Yi Chunfeng's body. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, suppress. As the two heavenly treasures attacked, Yi Chunfeng immediately used a strand of his divine sense to control the Vermilion Bird Cauldron to resist, completely suppressing the attacks of the two heavenly treasures. "Bingyu, come and help." Let's work together to kill him and take everything from him. Yu Zhongtian shouted at the anxious Yu Bingyu. Mo Wang also asked Mo Qianxin and Mo Baifeng for help. He wanted to gather everyone's strength to kill Yi Chenfeng. Hearing Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang's shouts, apart from Mo Baifeng, who rushed over to help them attack Yi Chenfeng, Yu Bingyu and Mo Qianxin did not move. Wrath of divine punishment! With a roar, Yi Chenfeng's 3 heavenly spirits surged out of his body, turning into a tricolored energy ball that smashed into the 3 heavenly spirits, shattering their attacks and exploding in front of them. Rumble! Boundless energy spread out, engulfing Yu Zhongtian and the others, destroying their bodies and worsening their injuries. Silent millstone. Enduring the attack of the divine punishment, Yu Zhongtian's Tao will exploded, forming a huge black millstone that released a twisting power that tore apart the destructive storm. 7 swords of judgment, heaven crumbling. As the divine punishment was being torn apart by the silent millstone, Yi Chenfeng executed his ultimate move. Sword type, heaven type, and lightning type Tao patterns surged out, forming a sword of light that swept across the heavens and earth. It fused with the power to destroy heaven and earth, tearing apart space as it slashed towards the silent millstone. For a moment, the heavens and earth changed color and thunder roared. The terrifying heaven-crumbling sword directly split the silent millstone in half. PFFF. Suffering from the remaining power of the heaven-crumbling sword, Yu Zhongtian spat out a mouthful of blood. Like a kite with a broken string, he fell into the distance and crashed onto the ground. Without Yu Zhongtian's powerful combat strength, the pressure on Mo Wang and Mo Baifeng increased sharply. They could not withstand the attacks of the vermilion bird cauldron and were forced to retreat. Just as Yi Chenfeng was about to crush Mo Wang and the others like breaking rotten wood and obtaining an overwhelming victory, a terrifying pressure suddenly appeared in the scarlet sky. The spatial crack that cut across the void and released a destructive power appeared again. Now is not the time for a civil war, everyone stop. Seeing the spatial crack in the sky, Yu Bingyu's expression changed greatly. She immediately stood in front of Yi Chenfeng and said in a low voice, "I don't think I was the one who attacked first." Yi Chenfeng looked at the wild beauty of Yu Bingyu with an unfriendly expression and said coldly, "It was Zhongtian and the others who were in the wrong. I apologize on their behalf." Yi Chenfeng was the only one who could get them out of the spatial crack. Helpless, Yu Bingyu could only admit defeat and apologize to Yi Chenfeng. The ones who should apologize are not you, but the 3 of them. Yi Chenfeng sneered. He cast his gaze towards Yu Zhongtian and the other 2, whose faces were so gloomy that water could almost drip out of them, and said, "If you don't apologize and promise not to repeat what happened earlier, then we will part ways here." Yu Zhongtian had never been so sullen before. He was so angry that he trembled. "Looks like you still don't know how to repent. Since that's the case, then you can fend for yourselves." With that, Yi Chenfeng turned to leave. "Wait, Yi Chenfeng, I was too impulsive just now. Please don't take it to heart. I promise that it won't happen again." The spatial crack was getting closer and closer. Under the threat of death, Yu Zhongtian had no choice but to lower his noble head and call out to Yi Chenfeng to apologize. "What about you guys?" Yi Chenfeng shifted his gaze onto the ashen-faced Mo Wang and Mo Baifeng, asking in a low voice. "Just now was our fault. We're sorry." Mo Wang gritted his teeth and swallowed his anger. Suppressing the anger in his heart, he apologized publicly. "Forget it. Seeing that your attitude isn't bad, I'll be magnanimous and forgive you this time." The dragon abyss was too dangerous. Yi Chenfeng still needed to borrow Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang's strength to deal with the various dangers. He didn't want to shed all pretenses with them so early. He coldly said, "The 3 of you, give me 3 heaven-tier spirit herbs each and I'll bring you out of here." Yi Chenfeng, you stole the most precious spirit flower, the Overlord Crocodile's heart, and you still want to blackmail us? Yu Zhongtian felt like he was about to go crazy from anger because of Yi Chunfeng. Wrong, I'm not blackmailing you. This is a punishment for your foolish actions. Yi Chunfeng interrupted Yu Zhongtian. I hope you can truly repent and properly repent. Yu Zhongtian. Fine, I'll give you 3 heaven-tier spirit herbs. Helplessly, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang's humiliation turned into anger. They each took out 3 extremely valuable heaven-tier spirit herbs and gave them to Yi Chunfeng as compensation. Alright, there's no time to lose. Everyone, follow me. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng, who had a victorious smile on his face, left with the wounded group according to the route that the God-Eater brain had deduced. Readers who want to read the latest chapters of this book, please visit the Gathered Cloud Pavilion. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 598. 22002441. Phew, we've finally escaped from that spatial crack. Let's heal here and find a way out after we've recovered. Under Yi Chunfeng's lead, the group traveled tirelessly for a day or so. Then, they once again escaped from the spatial crack and arrived at a relatively safe valley. Here, they recuperated and recovered. Hun Dun, this almighty crocodile core is for you. Dragon Blood Lion, Space Swallower, split this almighty crocodile's heart. Ling Yu, these 15 heaven-rank spirit herbs are for you. While healing, Yi Chunfeng kept the Chaos Divine Beast into the Universe realm and gave them the Beast Core, Demon Heart, and 15 heaven-rank spirit herbs that he had extorted. Sword Puppet Fuse. Following that, Yi Chunfeng fused the 8,000 top-grade soul crystals and several tens of thousands of high-grade soul crystals he had extorted into the Sword Spirit Puppet's body, raising its strength to half-step combat Beast Emperor to prevent any accidents from happening. After doing all this, Yi Chunfeng drank a small mouthful of Divine Fate water and controlled the Tao of Life to heal his injuries while controlling the God-Eater brain to deduce the reality of space to find a way out. Just as everyone was taking advantage of the limited time they had to heal, the spatial crack appeared again like maggots in a tarsal bone. The destructive power that permeated the void woke everyone up from their healing. Damn it, we can't get rid of that spatial crack. Seeing the spatial crack that was slowly approaching and destroying everything in the world, Yu Zhongtian and the others' faces became abnormally ugly, and the uneasiness in their hearts grew stronger. Yi Chunfeng, that spatial crack is getting closer and closer to us. Let's not heal and quickly leave this place, Yu Yiheng urged anxiously. Wait, I haven't deduced a safe route yet. Yi Chunfeng opened his eyes and glanced at the spatial crack that was slowly approaching. He closed his eyes again and cleared his mind of all distracting thoughts, controlling the God-Eater brain to continue deducing. Advertisement. As they went deeper, Yi Chunfeng found that the power of space became more complex and chaotic. Even the God-Eater brain found it difficult to deduce the mysteries of space. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, although everyone was worried, they didn't dare to disturb him. They gathered around him, watching as the destructive spatial crack came closer and closer, anxiously waiting. After about an hour, Yi Chunfeng suddenly opened his eyes and said, "Follow me. Follow my footsteps." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng's Yongquan acupoint erupted with power. He stepped on the hard ground and left a deep footprint. He led everyone to the southwest, trying to find a way to get rid of the space crack's pursuit. Rumble! Yi Chunfeng's group traveled quickly for more than 4 hours. When they neared the end of this strange valley, deafening sounds of thunder could be heard from afar. The ground beneath everyone's feet also began to tremble with the sound of thunder. Crazy character. Yi Chunfeng, the path you're leading us to can't be a dead end, right? Sensing the destructive power in front of him, Yu Zhongtian felt a deep sense of unease. He looked at Yi Chunfeng with an unfriendly expression and questioned loudly. If you're afraid of death, then don't follow me. Yi Chunfeng coldly glanced at Yu Zhongtian and ignored him. He continued to step on the cracked ground, walking towards the end of the valley shrouded in layers of scarlet cloud. Motherf * Ker Yi Chunfeng, I swear I won't let you go. Yu Zhongtian had never felt so sullen before. He felt that Yi Chunfeng was his nemesis. If he couldn't kill Yi Chunfeng with his own hands, the shadow in his heart would never disappear. Rumble, 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 following the sound of thunder that grew louder and louder, Yi Chunfeng's group arrived at the end of the valley. They saw the scarlet clouds floating in the sky, covering an unknown number of miles. Bolts of scarlet heavenly lightning as thick as an arm broke through the thick scarlet clouds and bombarded the ground, forming snake-like lightning on the ground. Yi Chunfeng, this is the path you led. What should we do now? Feeling the destructive power contained in the scarlet heavenly lightning, Yu Zhongtian's face turned ugly as he roared at Yi Chunfeng. You guys wait for me here. I'm going to explore the scarlet lightning space. Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment, then barged into the scarlet lightning space alone, wanting to explore the power of the scarlet lightning. Rumble! Walking into the scarlet lightning space, endless violent thunder exploded in the scarlet clouds. The scarlet lightning was like a tide that broke through the violently tumbling scarlet clouds and bombarded Yi Chunfeng, instantly engulfing him. Witnessing the instantaneous increase in power of the scarlet lightning, Shi Luo Mo and the others had a drastic change in expression. They didn't doubt that if they were to appear in the scarlet lightning space, they would very likely be killed by the surging scarlet lightning. And there is something in the scarlet clouds. Relying on his high-grade heaven artifact body to withstand the attack of the scarlet lightning, Yi Chunfeng immediately radiated the power of the God-Eater brain. It penetrated the scarlet lightning like tide and penetrated into the scarlet clouds that shrouded the void. He sensed something in the scarlet clouds. Sword-based Tao pattern break. In the next moment, 40 sword-based Tao patterns gushed out from Yi Chunfeng's body and sliced through the scarlet clouds that descended from the sky with incomparable sharpness. He summoned the golden pring wings and flew up with extreme speed. As expected, there is a great array hidden in the scarlet clouds. This scarlet lightning that engulfs the world is formed by this great array. Taking the risk to fly into the scarlet clouds, Yi Chunfeng discovered a scarlet-red giant light array that covered an area of dozens of miles. In the center of the light array, there was a blood-red bead floating. The scarlet lightning that filled the scarlet clouds with terrifying power was nurtured by this bead. Quasi-Tao treasure. This bead is a quasi-Tao treasure. When the God-Eater brain's power locked onto this scarlet lightning bead, Yi Chunfeng unexpectedly discovered that this scarlet lightning bead was actually a quasi-Tao treasure like the vermilion bird cauldron. Alternate spacetime, China's resurgence. However, this scarlet lightning bead didn't have an artifact spirit, and its potential was far inferior to the vermilion bird cauldron. This dragon abyss is indeed full of opportunities. Yi Chunfeng didn't expect to encounter such an unprecedented opportunity when death was approaching. He immediately interweaved his sword-based Tao pattern and tore apart the surging scarlet lightning. He approached the scarlet light array and wanted to break the light array and subdue this scarlet lightning bead. Sword puppet, come out and help me. Yi Chunfeng might have a powerful physical body, but the scarlet lightning that was nurtured by the quasi-Tao treasure scarlet lightning bead was extremely terrifying. Even with his physical body, he couldn't withstand it and had to summon the sword puppet to help him resist. Vermilion bird cauldron, tear the array. The spatial crack was slowly approaching. Yi Chunfeng didn't have time to control the God-Eater brain to break the array. He summoned the vermilion bird cauldron and sprayed several drops of essence blood into the vermilion bird cauldron to awaken the soul of the vermilion bird and attack the scarlet light array with all his strength. Rumble! After being attacked by the vermilion bird cauldron, there was a deafening explosion in the scarlet light array. Endless violent thunderbolts blasted over and bombarded the vermilion bird cauldron. Sword puppet, forcibly sever the connection between the scarlet lightning bead and this array. While Yi Chunfeng controlled the vermilion bird cauldron to fiercely attack the scarlet light array, he immediately ordered the indestructible sword puppet to rush into the light array, resisting the violent thunderbolts like a tidal wave, and gradually approaching the scarlet lightning bead at the center of the array. As long as the scarlet lightning bead was shaken and its connection with the scarlet light array was cut off, this light array was nothing to be afraid of. Just as Yi Chunfeng was in the scarlet clouds and forcibly breaking the array, the spatial crack that traversed the void and spewed out destructive power approached the area 10 miles away, fluctuating and causing the entire space to become chaotic. Looking at the spatial crack that was getting closer and closer, Yu Zhongtian and the others turned pale and anxious. They had no doubt that once the spatial crack in the sky caught up with them, they would be crushed by the power released by the spatial crack without any suspense, and not even their bones would be left. Death. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 599. 22002442. What the hell is that Yi Chunfeng doing? If he doesn't come out soon, we're all going to be swallowed up by the spatial rift. Motherf *Kerr, do you think he's purposely keeping us here when he's already gone? Feeling that death was getting closer and closer, everyone was like ants on a hot pan, restless as they discussed spiritedly. Brother Yu, we can't just sit here and wait for death and leave our lives in the hands of that Yi Chunfeng. Why don't the two of us enter the crimson clouds and see if that Yi Chunfeng is still there? Mo Wuang, who was feeling uneasy in his heart, heard the discussions of the crowd. Looking at the solemn Yu Zhongtian, he suggested, "Alright, let's go check out the crimson clouds." Yu Zhongtian took a deep breath and poured a large amount of soul power into his mid-grade celestial battle armor, activating its strongest defensive power. He and Mo Wuang soared into the air and passed through the barrage of crimson lightning to enter the crimson clouds. When they passed through the crimson clouds, they immediately saw Yi Chunfeng controlling the vermilion bird cauldron and battling the crimson light formation. They were completely stunned by the majestic aura emanating from the battle. Like a massive wave, the violent lightning bombarded Yi Chunfeng's body in an attempt to destroy him. However, Yi Chunfeng didn't back down in the face of the violent crimson lightning. He constantly controlled the vermilion bird cauldron to counterattack, tearing apart the violent lightning and shaking the crimson light formation. Suddenly, through the chaotic space, they vaguely saw the sword puppet. It was like a lone boat, enduring the violent barrage of crimson lightning as it approached a crimson lightning bead step by step. That's, even though they had only caught a glimpse of it from afar, the two of them could sense that it was extraordinary from the energy released by the crimson lightning bead, and their eyes burned with fervent desire. However, the crimson light formation was simply too destructive, and their defensive power was far inferior to Yi Chunfeng's, so they didn't dare to approach it. They could only watch from afar. At this moment, the sword puppet, which had expended a large amount of energy, appeared beside the crimson lightning bead and reached out with both hands to grab it. Rumble! The moment the red lightning bead was grabbed by the sword puppet, it let out an explosion that sounded like the wrath of the thunder god. A large number of red lightning bolts drilled out of the lightning bead and fiercely bombarded the sword puppet, wanting to destroy it. However, the sword puppet's defense was simply too shocking. The scarlet lightning bead was unable to destroy it at all. Even so, the energy within the sword puppet's body was being rapidly consumed by the ferocious scarlet lightning bead. Another time and space. The rise of China. Ignite 1,000 top-grade soul crystals. In order to sever the connection between the crimson lightning bead and the crimson light formation, Yi Chunfeng decisively burned 1,000 top-grade soul crystals in the sword puppet's body. He raised his strength to the peak and forcibly shook the crimson lightning bead, weakening its energy. Under the sword puppet's all-out attacks, the connection between the crimson lightning bead and the crimson light formation was constantly being weakened. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Yi Chunfeng spat out more blood essence into the vermilion bird cauldron, stimulating its power and tearing apart the crimson light formation. Wu Wang, based on the current situation, that Yi Chunfeng should be able to break through the crimson light formation. When the crimson light formation is broken, you and I will attack together and snatch that crimson lightning bead. We can't let him snatch all the treasures in the dragon abyss. Yu Zhongtian transmitted his voice to Emo Wuang when he saw Yi Chunfeng controlling the vermilion bird cauldron to tear apart the crimson light formation. All right. Emo Wuang also wasn't willing to watch Yi Chunfeng take all the treasures for himself. He nodded in agreement and inched closer to Yi Chunfeng, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Sensing Yu Zhongtian and Emo Wuang's approach, Yi Chunfeng didn't pay them any mind. He continued to control the vermilion bird cauldron to tear apart the crimson light formation and slowly approached the crimson lightning bead that was being attacked by the sword puppet. Finally, Yi Chunfeng broke through the crimson light formation with the vermilion bird cauldron and appeared beside the crimson lightning bead after an incense stick's worth of time. Now, let's do it. The instant the crimson light formation was torn apart by the vermilion bird cauldron, Yu Zhongtian and Emo Wuang both raised their speed to the maximum. Like two streaks of light, they cut through the weakened crimson lightning bead, wanting to take advantage of Yi Chunfeng's weakened state to strengthen the crimson lightning bead. Naive. Sensing Yu Zhongtian and Emo Wuang's intentions, Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up into a cold sneer. He suddenly sped up and circled behind the crimson lightning bead, controlling the vermilion bird cauldron to slam into it. Boom! Under the full force of the vermilion bird cauldron, the crimson lightning bead trembled violently. The energy within the bead was completely stimulated, and it flew uncontrollably toward the approaching Yu Zhongtian and Emo Wuang. Not good! Sensing that the destructive energy within the crimson lightning bead had been completely stimulated, Yu Zhongtian and Emo Wuang's expressions changed drastically. They quickly stopped themselves and summoned their two heavenly treasures to attack with all their might, not giving the bead any chance to get close to them. Unfortunately, the crimson lightning bead was a quasi-Dao treasure and its power was far above the two heavenly treasures. In addition, the energy within the bead was completely stimulated by the vermilion bird cauldron's ferocious attack. Its power instantly overwhelmed the two heavenly treasures and sent them flying. Silent Millstone! Great Demon slaying Dragon Blade! Seeing that the crimson lightning bead had forced the two heavenly treasures back and was continuing to fly toward them, Yu Zhongtian and Emo Wuang sensed a strong sense of danger. Without hesitation, they ignited their spiritual beast's bloodline and unleashed a terrifying Dao skill to forcefully weaken the bead's power. They dodged to the side in a sorry state. The president enters the game for love. 1. Vermilion bird cauldron, suppress. Just as the crimson lightning bead's power was being forcefully weakened by Yu Zhongtian and Emo Wuang, Yi Chunfeng descended from the sky with the vermilion bird cauldron under his feet. Like a towering mountain range, the vermilion bird cauldron ruthlessly suppressed the crimson lightning bead, directly suppressing it from the crimson clouds to the ground. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion rang out from the ground of the crimson lightning space. The two quasi-Dao treasures had smashed a 10-meter-deep crater into the ground, causing crisscrossing cracks to appear all over the ground. The crimson lightning array had been torn apart by Yi Chunfeng, and the crimson lightning bead had been suppressed by the vermilion bird cauldron, causing the crimson lightning bead to gradually disappear. Drip blood to claim ownership. After being suppressed by the vermilion bird cauldron, the crimson lightning bead's power had been weakened to the extreme. Seizing this opportunity, Yi Chunfeng bit his finger and shot a drop of blood essence into the crimson lightning bead, attempting to claim ownership with his blood. And failed to claim ownership. The crimson lightning bead had fused with Yi Chunfeng's blood essence, but it did not have any reaction, nor did it form any connection with him. Thunder Dao pattern, fuse. Drip blood to claim ownership. After failing to claim ownership for the first time, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled 20 Thunder Dao patterns to surge into the crimson lightning bead. Following that, he shot a second drop of blood essence. This time, the crimson lightning bead, which had fused with the Thunder Dao patterns, did not resist Yi Chunfeng's blood essence. Soon, Yi Chunfeng's blood essence fused with the crimson lightning bead, successfully claiming ownership of the crimson lightning bead. Quasi-Dao treasure crimson lightning bead. In the next moment, information about the crimson lightning bead appeared in Yi Chunfeng's mind. This lightning bead had existed for an unknown number of years and had absorbed a large amount of the power of death and thunder. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Collect button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 600. Fuck, that scarlet lightning bead was snatched away by him again. When Yu Zhongtian saw the Quasi-Dao treasure, the scarlet thunder bead, recognize Yi Chunfeng as its master and absorb it into his body, Mo Wuang gritted his teeth in hatred, wanting to vomit blood. They hadn't expected that all their efforts would once again benefit Yi Chunfeng, helping him obtain the scarlet lightning bead. We're so close to the spatial crack. Yi Chunfeng, who had obtained another great fortuitous encounter, discovered that the spatial tear was already very close to him. He quickly said, "Everyone, follow me. Let's continue forward." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng followed the path that the God-Eater brain had deduced and left behind footprints on the ground. He led the group away from the end of the valley that was filled with crack. They quickly advanced into the distance, thinking of ways to get rid of the spatial crack that was chasing them relentlessly. What's up ahead? Yi Chunfeng's group moved like a snake, moving in the dragon abyss for more than 2 hours. Just as they were about to get rid of the spatial rifts that were closing in on them, Yi Chunfeng suddenly realized that the soul he released was blocked by a large object, unable to extend out. His expression slightly changed. Is there no path ahead? Thinking of this possibility, Yi Chunfeng felt uneasy for the first time. He quickened his pace and led the group through the thick scarlet fog. They arrived at the foot of a towering mountain that looked like a pillar to the heavens. Thump! Seeing that the path ahead was blocked by a steep mountain, everyone's expressions changed. They all turned to Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng, this is the path you led us to? You're trying to kill us! Roared Yu Zhongtian. If they couldn't find another path before the spatial crack closed, they would all die here. Let's fly up. The situation was urgent, and Yi Chunfeng ignored Yu Zhongtian's shouts. He raised his head and looked at the huge mountain shrouded in scarlet mist. Although they knew that blindly flying into the sky would only bring them closer to the spatial crack and make their situation even more dangerous, they had no other choice but to continue following Yi Chunfeng and attempt to fly over this mountain. Screech! Just as Yi Chunfeng's group took the risk of flying into the air, a series of sharp cries rang out. 3 pitch-black eagles with 10-meter-long wingspans appeared, their eyes flashing with electricity. They stirred up strong gales as they attacked Yi Chunfeng's group. Level 7 Heavenly Beast. Seeing the 3 black eagles flying towards them, the expressions of Yi Chunfeng and the others changed slightly. Although with their current power level, a level 7 Heavenly Beast was nothing to be afraid of, these 3 black eagles were extremely fast, and it would be difficult to kill them all in such a short time. If they wasted too much time killing the 3 black eagles, they would be in danger once that terrifying spatial crack appeared. Let's end this battle and get rid of these 3 black eagles as soon as possible. Yi Chunfeng made a prompt decision and rushed up to meet the 3 black eagles head-on. When he got close to the 3 black eagles, he ignited his dragon's bloodline and increased his soul force by 3 times, transforming into his half-human, half-beast battle form. The situation was urgent, and Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu did not hold back, transforming into their beast spirit forms. As for Mo Wuang, He Shi, Tu Ji and the others, they also unleashed their full power, trying to gather everyone's strength to kill the 3 black eagles. Facing the ferocious attacks of Yi Chunfeng's group, the 3 black eagles were immediately injured, and large patches of black feathers were torn apart. Their injuries did not scare off the 3 black eagles, and they continued to rely on their absolute speed to counterattack, wanting to devour Yi Chunfeng's group. Dual Extreme Ancient Heavenly Water Ice Seal. Just as the battle reached its climax, Yi Chunfeng took the opportunity to use the Dual Extreme Ancient Heavenly Water, striking one of the bloody black eagles and instantly freezing its huge body. Ghost God Claw. In the instant that the black eagle was frozen, Yu Bingyu immediately took action, her billowing soul power and darkness Dao intent fusing together, forming a green ghost claw that slashed out, shattering the black eagle's frozen body and ending its life. With Yi Chunfeng and Yu Bingyu working together, they managed to kill a level 7 heavenly beast black eagle, and the pressure on the rest of the group was greatly reduced. Just as they were about to continue attacking and kill the remaining 2 black eagles, a suffocating and terrifying aura appeared. Not good, that spatial crack has appeared again so quickly. Looking at the spatial crack in the sky, swallowing and spitting out destructive energy, Yi Chunfeng and the rest felt their hearts tremble. As for the remaining 2 heavily injured black eagles, they were frightened by the spatial crack and gave up on attacking Yi Chunfeng and the rest, quickly rising up into the sky in an attempt to escape. However, just as they were rising up into the sky, an earth-shattering sound rang out from the spatial crack. Endless waves of wind surged out from the spatial crack, like a rushing tide rushing through the sky. Before it even reached the 2 black eagles, their powerful bodies were shattered, and even their tough demonic cores were not spared, directly exploding. Stop flying, get down! The 2 black eagles were killed by the destructive energy from the spatial crack, and Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses picked up a thick scent of danger. Without hesitation, he brought Yu Zhongtian and the rest down to the ground. What should we do, Yi Chunfeng? Do you have any good ideas? The crowd, who had no way out, looked at the spatial crack that was getting closer and closer. Despair appeared on their faces as they asked anxiously. Ideas? Thinking of how terrifying this spatial crack was, Yi Chunfeng also couldn't think of a good way to escape. Yi Chunfeng, how did you become a mute? Aren't you very powerful? Didn't you say that you would definitely bring us away? Yu Zhongtian looked at the silent Yi Chunfeng, and the fury in his heart completely exploded. Yu Zhongtian, you'd best get this straight. I'm not forcing you to follow me, but you're begging me to bring you along. Also, if you don't want to die, then be quiet. Otherwise, I don't mind sending you to hell first. Yi Chunfeng coldly warned as he looked at the flustered and exasperated Yu Zhongtian. Fuck, you still dare to threaten me at this time? Today, I won't rest until you die. Yu Zhongtian, who was in despair, could not control the anger in his heart. He wanted to settle the score with Yi Chunfeng before he died. Wait, Zhongtian, calm down. Don't be impulsive. At this time, Yu Bingyu appeared beside the furious Yu Zhongtian and pressed down on his shoulder with one hand, trying to calm him down. Calm down? How do you want me to calm down at this time? With the speed of that spatial crack, it won't be long before you and I lose our lives here. And all of this is thanks to him. Yu Zhongtian roared loudly. Until the very last moment, I will never accept my fate, Yi Chunfeng said in a dignified manner. Yi Chunfeng, you really have a way? Yu Zhongtian and the others all looked at him. Although they all hated Yi Chunfeng, they knew that Yi Chunfeng was their only hope. There's no way. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said, "But I believe I can find a way." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng ignored the others and sat cross-legged on the ground. He controlled the power of the God-Eater brain to completely radiate out, merging it into the void. He was racing against time to find a way to escape. Readers who want to read the latest chapters of this book, go to the Gathering Cloud Pavilion or visit on mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading. The next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 601. What do we do? What do we do? He Shi, 2G, and the others were filled with despair and fear as they looked at the approaching spatial crack that seemed to cut off space itself and felt the destructive power emanating from it. If they had known earlier that the Dragon Abyss was so dangerous, even if they were 100 times more courageous, they wouldn't have taken the risk to come here and search for the Dragon Abyss. But it was too late for regrets, and time couldn't be reversed. They could only pray that Yi Chunfeng could create a miracle and bring them out alive. Half an incense stick's worth of time, 1 incense stick's worth of time, 2 incense sticks worth of time. They waited impatiently for 3 incense sticks worth of time before the spatial crack appeared 1 mile away. The destructive power gushing out of the spatial crack constantly attacked the surrounding space, making them feel suffocated and terrified. Just as they were sinking into despair, Yi Chunfeng, who had been motionless like a statue, suddenly opened his eyes and looked at the crimson spatial crack. In the next moment, under everyone's horrified gazes, Yi Chunfeng flew into the air and took the risk of flying into the chaotic void. What is he doing? Is he trying to kill himself because of the pressure? Seeing Yi Chunfeng suddenly fly into the void, Yu Zhongtian and the others were all stunned. They couldn't understand what was going on with Yi Chunfeng. After all, flying into the void at this time was no different from suicide. Once he was engulfed by the destructive power of the spatial crack, even if Yi Chunfeng had heaven-defying abilities, he wouldn't be able to survive. Just as everyone stared at Yi Chunfeng with their eyes wide open and their hearts in their throats, a strange scene occurred. The destructive power didn't attack Yi Chunfeng. Instead, it passed over his head and bombarded the entire space. As expected, this space hides a path of life, and the true door of life should be hidden here. Yi Chunfeng frowned and muttered to himself. He controlled the God-Eater brain to continue its calculations, searching for the location of the door of life. It's fine. He actually wasn't attacked by the spatial crack. Just how did he do it? Looking at the unscathed Yi Chunfeng flying in the air, Yu Zhongtian and the others were so shocked that their eyes nearly popped out of their sockets. As expected, Yi Chunfeng did not disappoint us. Perhaps he can really create a miracle and bring us out of here. A faint smile appeared on Yu Bingyu's wild face. She stared at Yi Chunfeng in anticipation. What are you all standing around for? Why aren't you flying to my side? Although Yi Chunfeng really wanted to take this opportunity to eliminate Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang, and the rest to prevent future troubles, the Dragon Abyss was fraught with dangers. He needed to borrow Yu Zhongtian and the rest's strength to overcome the layers upon layers of dangers. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's shout, Yu Zhongtian and the others did not hesitate to fly through the void and appear beside Yi Chunfeng at an extremely fast speed. They looked at the destructive power that was constantly streaking past their heads in horror. Follow me. Don't make a single mistake. Otherwise, you'll all die here. Borrowing the power of the God-Eater brain, Yi Chunfeng solemnly instructed as he deduced the second path of survival. After he finished speaking, Yi Chunfeng's body flashed. Ignoring the surging destructive power, he hurriedly flew to the second spatial node. And this node was where the path of survival was located. Seeing Yi Chunfeng standing on the path of survival, splitting the surging destructive power without suffering any attacks, Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang, and the others did not hesitate. They followed his flight path and flew to his side, patiently waiting for him to deduce the third path of survival. At this moment, no one doubted Yi Chunfeng anymore. Even more so, no one disturbed him. Yi Chunfeng had become their only hope of survival. Just as Yu Zhongtian and the others were waiting in anticipation, 40 sword Dao patterns gushed out from Yi Chunfeng's body and intertwined into an unparalleled light sword. It pierced through the sky and struck a space, causing ripples of energy to surge out. Seeing that the space that the sword Dao patterns attacked was also not affected by the destructive power that was spewing out from the spatial crack, Yi Chunfeng immediately led everyone into the void. Following a strange flight path, they appeared in this rippling space. Yi Chunfeng was constantly creating miracles and finding a path of survival. However, no one was happy because the spatial crack was getting closer and closer. Looking through the scarlet crack, everyone felt as though they were looking into hell. Gate of Life. Where exactly is the Gate of Life? The God-Eater brain continuously deduced the path of survival, but it was unable to find the Gate of Life. If it was unable to deduce the location of the Gate of Life, they would still be swallowed by the spatial crack and lose their lives on the spot. Spatial crack, spatial crack. Seeing that the spatial crack was getting closer and could swallow them at any moment, Yi Chunfeng had a bold idea. He immediately controlled the power of the God-Eater brain and radiated it towards the spatial crack that traversed the void. This is the Gate of Life. The Gate of Life is hidden in this spatial crack. After using the power of the God-Eater brain to sense for a moment, Yi Chunfeng could faintly sense the presence of the Gate of Life in the spatial crack. His face revealed a grave expression as he slowly said, "I have basically determined the location of the Gate of Life to leave this place. Now, it is up to you all if you dare to make a bet with me. Where is the Gate of Life?" Yu Zhongtian and the others revealed a glimmer of hope as they asked excitedly. "If I am not wrong, the Gate of Life should be in this spatial crack." Yi Chunfeng pointed at the spatial crack that was slowly approaching. "What?" After hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, Yu Zhongtian and the others' minds went blank as they were all dumbfounded. "Yi Chunfeng, how confident are you that the Gate of Life is in this spatial crack?" Yu Bingyu took a deep breath and suppressed the uneasiness in her heart as she asked. 50%. Yi Chunfeng said somewhat conservatively. 50%, that is half life and half death. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's probability, Yu Zhongtian and the others all went silent. However, they had no choice but to leave their life and death to Yi Chunfeng. If they succeeded, they would live, and if they failed, they would die. "Have you all decided? Do you want to risk your lives with me?" Yi Chunfeng looked at the solemn expressions of Yu Zhongtian and the others, whose eyes were filled with fear, and asked, "Do we have any other choice?" Yu Bingyu's face was slightly pale, and she revealed a rare delicate expression as she helplessly said, "All right, then listen to my command." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng closed his eyes and controlled the power of the God-Eater brain to continue spreading through the spatial crack that was getting closer and closer, looking for the best opportunity. 1,000 meters, 800 meters, 500 meters. When the spatial crack appeared 100 meters away from Yi Chunfeng and the others, Yi Chunfeng suddenly opened his eyes and shouted, "Everyone, listen to my command and attack together." Hearing Yi Chunfeng's order, Yu Zhongtian and the others did not hesitate. One after another, they unleashed their strongest Taoist skills, bombarding the spatial rift that was about to swallow them up, tearing apart the destructive power from the rift. "Continue attacking, don't stop." After a wave of attacks, Yi Chunfeng and the others did not hesitate to continue attacking, forcibly tearing apart the destructive power like a tide, opening a path to the depths of the spatial crack. Under the continuous efforts of everyone, a crack was forcefully torn in the destructive power that was gushing out. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng moved. Like an arrow leaving the bow, he led everyone towards the spatial crack as if he was betting, using his own life to bet on the possibility of survival. Readers who want to read the latest chapter of this book, please visit the Gathering Cloud Pavilion or on your mobile phone. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 602. Dragon Bloodline Ignite. When Yi Chunfeng, who was in the lead, flew into the terrifying crack, he did not hesitate to burn his dragon blood and transform into his beast soul form. He condensed the king's sword and slashed at the space that the God-Eater brain had already locked onto. Crack! The sound of space breaking rang out. Yi Chunfeng's sword, which had become one with his weapon, directly pierced through the space wall. It crashed into the pitch-black crack and disappeared. Following that, Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wang, and the rest also followed him into the black crack. Their fates were unknown. After an unknown amount of time, Yi Chunfeng, who had been flying all the way, passed through the black spatial passageway and entered a dark and desolate wasteland. Hazy stars twinkled above this wasteland, the only source of light. Just as Yi Chunfeng was observing his surroundings, Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wang, and the rest flew out of the black crack and came to his side. Escaping from death made them feel a little emotional. Imperceptibly, Yi Chunfeng's prestige in their hearts grew a little stronger. Now I've fulfilled my promise and brought all of you out alive. Next, will you move on your own or will you follow me? Yi Chunfeng slowly turned around and looked at Yu Zhongtian and the others as he asked intentionally. Yi Chunfeng, I was wrong just now. I shouldn't have doubted your safety. Let's move together for now. Yu Zhongtian knew that Yi Chunfeng's words were directed at him. Clenching his fists, he endured the humiliation in his heart and braced himself to say this. Yu Bingyu, He Shi, Tuji, and the rest all chimed in. After seeing Yi Chunfeng's shocking methods, they had long treated Yi Chunfeng as their backbone and were unwilling to part with him. Yi Chunfeng deliberately looked at the gloomy faces of Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang and coldly warned, Since you've all chosen to follow me, I'll reiterate one thing. When I make a decision, if anyone doubts my decision or disobeys my orders, I'll immediately kick him out of the group. I won't give him another chance. Alright, let's rest here. After 6 hours, we'll continue. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng walked far away and found a flat area. He took out the soul flower that was extremely precious, enough to cause combat beast emperors to fight over it, and swallowed it in one gulp. When Yu Zhongtian saw Yi Chunfeng devouring the soul flower from the corner of his eye, his eyelids twitched violently. In his opinion, that soul flower should have been his fortuitous encounter, and it was Yi Chunfeng who stole it from him using underhanded means. Yi Chunfeng, I'll let you be arrogant for a while. Once we leave the dragon abyss, I'll definitely skin you alive and tear out your tendons. I'll let you slowly die in pain. Yu Zhongtian clenched his fists and secretly swore in his heart. Yu Zhongtian was not the only one with the same thought. Mo Wang, Mo Baifeng, and the rest also gave up on the idea of going against Yi Chunfeng. They believed that no matter what kind of opportunity Yi Chunfeng obtained, he would not be able to escape from Mo Fengyun, Yu Qinyuan, and the rest. Once he left the dragon abyss, only death would await him. What a terrifying soul energy! This spirit flower is indeed powerful. After refining the spirit flower, Yi Chunfeng felt that his soul had strengthened by more than 30%. The God-Eater brain had also nurtured several thousand brain cells, and the energy it contained was even stronger. 8 small speak. The strengthening of the God-Eater brain was extremely important to Yi Chunfeng. Only by strengthening the God-Eater brain would it be able to solve all the dangers and help Yi Chunfeng obtain the great opportunity in the Dragon Abyss. 6 hours have passed. Let's continue. After refining the spirit flower and strengthening his soul and the God-Eater brain, Yi Chunfeng did not waste any time. Wielding his king weapon, He led everyone who had basically recovered and flew into the depths of this desolate, deathly still wasteland that gave people an extremely oppressive feeling. As they flew, Yu Zhongtian and the rest frowned. They found that they had lost their direction. After flying for over 2 hours, they had once again flown back to the starting point. Yu Zhongtian, use your compass to calculate. Yi Chunfeng's eyes flickered with the illusory Tao insight as he spoke in a low voice as he gazed into the distance that was covered in strands of drifting gray mist. Yu Zhongtian nodded and took out the heavenly treasure ancient compass. He poured a large amount of soul energy into it and controlled it to calculate their direction. Over there. After calculating for around an incense stick's worth of time, the 8 guiding lights of the ancient compass fused together and pointed southwest. Let's go. Yi Chunfeng and the rest did not hesitate. They followed the direction of the ancient compass and flew southwest of this desolate wasteland. As they flew, they left behind one earth tool after another as landmark. How could this be? We're flying back here again. They followed the guiding lights for over 2 hours before unexpectedly discovering the coordinates left behind by Yi Chunfeng. They knew that they were flying back here again. Damn it, just what kind of power is this? It can even confuse my ancient compass. Yu Zhongtian said with a frown. He unconsciously cast his gaze towards Yi Chunfeng, whose eyes were tightly shut. Yu Zhongtian, lend me your ancient compass. After using the God-Eater brain to sense it for a while, Yi Chunfeng opened his eyes and whispered. This. Hearing Yi Chunfeng ask for his ancient compass, Yu Zhongtian hesitated for a moment. What? Do you think I would care about your heavenly treasure? Yi Chunfeng snorted and disdainfully said. With the Quasi-Dao treasure's vermilion bird cauldron and scarlet thunder bead, Yi Chunfeng no longer cared about heavenly treasures. You! Hearing Yi Chunfeng's undisguised humiliation, Yu Zhongtian immediately felt that he had lost all face. However, this time, he was much more well-behaved. He didn't retort in front of everyone and obediently handed the ancient compass to Yi Chunfeng. After receiving the ancient compass, Yi Chunfeng immediately poured his soul energy into it and activated the 8 guiding lights. When the 8 guiding lights extended into the distance, the God-Eater brain's power immediately radiated outward. With the help of the guiding lights, it sensed the truth and mysteries of this space. There really is a power that can confuse these 8 guiding lights. When the 8 guiding lights merged into one, Yi Chunfeng found that these 8 guiding lights were pointing to the northeast. It was the opposite direction from before. After dispersing the guiding lights, Yi Chunfeng continued pouring his soul energy into the ancient compass. But due to the interference of a mysterious power in space, the ancient compass pointed in a different direction each time. This bewitching power comes from the starry sky. Under the guidance of the ancient compass and the God-Eater brain's deduction, Yi Chunfeng finally found the source of the illusion. He raised his head and looked at the twinkling stars in the sky. Yi Chunfeng, you found the problem. Yu Bingyu saw Yi Chunfeng looking at the sky for a long time without saying anything. Yes. If I'm not wrong, the bewitching power comes from the stars in the sky. Yi Chunfeng nodded. There's a problem with the stars in the sky. Yu Bingyu and the rest looked at the stars in the sky. As they looked, they found that these stars were like bottomless pits that wanted to suck their souls away. They were so scared that they quickly closed their eyes. Close your eyes and lock your souls on me. Let's go. Yi Chunfeng pondered for a while and returned the ancient compass to Yu Zhongtian. He took out the heavenly treasure snake spear and controlled it to attack the space in front of him. Chi! Under the attack of the heavenly treasure snake spear, the sound of cloth being torn rang out. Ripples appeared in the space. Feeling the illusion power in the space being split apart by the ripples, Yi Chunfeng did not waste any time. His body flashed and he brought everyone out. Readers who want to read the latest chapters of this book, please visit the Gathering Cloud Pavilion or your mobile phone. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading. You will be able to read it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 603. CT Chi. Under Yi Chunfeng's control, the snake spear attacked again and again, tearing apart the illusory energy hidden in the space, forcibly opening a path to the depths of the desolate space. Read the full text. What's that? As they walked through the slowly drifting gray fog, they vaguely saw a large black expanse in front of them. It gave off an extremely oppressive feeling and occupied a vast area of buildings. Tombs, what a huge tombs! After walking in, they saw that this black expanse of buildings was actually a huge group of tombs that had been abandoned for a long time. It was unknown who had built it. And at the center of this group of tombs stood a black stone tablet that was dozens of meters tall. The words were a little blurry, as if it had been through countless years. Such a huge group of tombs, there must be an unimaginable fortuitous opportunity inside. Heisher 2G's eyes were shining as he looked at this group of tombs. He couldn't wait to charge in and snatch the fortuitous opportunity inside. As for Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang, and the others, they were also secretly discussing how to snatch the greatest fortuitous opportunity from Yi Chunfeng's hands. Just as they were itching to try, Yi Chunfeng looked at the black stone tablet and pondered for a moment before saying, "I won't enter this group of tombs. I'll wait for you outside. And there's great danger inside." Hearing that Yi Chunfeng had voluntarily given up on entering the tombs, Yu Zhongtian and the others were shocked instead of happy. They guessed why he had given up. "I don't know if there's great danger inside. I just don't have much interest in this group of tombs and don't want to go in." Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said vaguely, "I'll also give up on the fortuitous opportunity inside. I won't go in." Zi Yun, who was the weakest among them, suppressed his greed and chose to stay. "Advertisement, since that's the case, then we'll go in." Hearing Yi Chunfeng's vague explanation, Yu Zhongtian and the others didn't believe him. But thinking that this group of tombs might be hiding a great fortuitous opportunity, they still decided to take the risk and go in. In the end, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang worked together to break through the restrictions at the entrance of the tombs. Together with Heisher and 2G, they ventured into the mysterious tombs that were filled with dense yin qi. After everyone entered the tombs, Zi Yun did not ask Yi Chunfeng anything. He quietly walked to the side and took out the spirit crystal of death. He quietly absorbed it to nurture the black withered vine. "Boss, why did you give up on this group of tombs? I have a feeling that there's a great treasure inside." The Chaos Divine Beast, who had swallowed the 8th grade Heavenly Beast King Crocodile's demonic core and was showing signs of evolving into a 8th grade Heavenly Beast, asked in confusion. "Compared to the 100 miles of tombs, this black stone tablet is more attractive to me." Yi Chunfeng walked up to the black stone tablet that was tens of meters high. The words on the stone tablet were badly peeling off. "And what's so special about this stone tablet?" The chaotic divine beast didn't sense anything special about the black stone tablet, so it asked in confusion. "If I'm not mistaken, this black stone tablet should be a Tao tablet. It contains Tao intent." Yi Chunfeng's God-Eater brain's power completely radiated out and seeped into the black stone tablet as he transmitted his voice. "Sword puppet, Hun Dun, protect me." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword puppet. After giving it some instructions, he sat down cross-legged under the black stone tablet and controlled the God-Eater brain to deduce the mysteries of this stone tablet. Tao patterns of death. This is a Tao tablet of death. Under the God-Eater brain's high-speed deduction, Yi Chunfeng sensed 20 Tao patterns of death in the deepest part of the black steel. He confirmed that this steel was a Tao steel of death that contained the Tao of death. God-Eater brain, imprint. After understanding the mysteries of the Tao tablet of death, Yi Chunfeng glanced at Zi Yun, who had already entered a state of cultivation. He dismissed all distracting thoughts and sat cross-legged under the Tao tablet. He controlled the God-Eater brain to deduce and imprint the Tao patterns of death in the Tao tablet. While Yi Chunfeng was imprinting the Tao patterns of death, Yu Zhongtian and the rest broke through layers of restrictions. In the depths of the tombs, they discovered a blood-stained supreme-grade heaven artifact spear that had been stuck in a dragon-headed stone tortoise for an unknown period of time. Supreme-grade heaven artifact. Looking at the spear in front of them, Yu Zhongtian and the rest's eyes burned with passion. They all rushed forward to fight for it. In the end, Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu, who were slightly stronger than Mo Wuang and the rest, managed to pull out the supreme-grade heaven artifact spear. Roar! Roar! The moment the spear was pulled out, terrifying ghostly cries rang out. The terrifying sound waves reverberated in the depths of the tombs, causing everyone's blood to churn. It was extremely uncomfortable. In the next moment, the dragon-headed stone tortoise that was full of cracks suddenly shattered. Tens of thousands of evil spirits emerged from the tombs, howling as they attacked Yu Zhongtian and the rest. Not good. Let's retreat. We have to leave this place quickly. Suddenly being attacked by a large number of evil spirits, Yu Zhongtian and the rest had a drastic change in expression. They quickly fled out of the tombs. Unfortunately, the tombs were too big and the terrain was too complicated. They were quickly surrounded by tens of thousands of evil spirits within the tombs, and an intense battle ensued. Everyone, don't linger. Use all your strength to break out of the encirclement. After fighting for more than 1 hour, Yu Zhongtian and the rest realized that there was no end to the evil spirits within the tombs. They all executed their powerful Tao skills to kill the evil spirits that were blocking their way and forcefully break out of the encirclement. My arm! Yu Zhongtian and the rest broke out of the encirclement for more than 2 hours. Xiao Yufu, who was severely exhausted, had his left arm bitten by 2 evil spirits. Instantly, he felt the blood in his left arm flowing out rapidly. In the blink of an eye, his left arm withered, and he had no choice but to endure the pain and cut off his left arm. Just as Xiao Yufu cut off his left arm and his combat strength was greatly reduced, Kuei, who was the weakest among the group and was severely exhausted, couldn't hold on any longer. Several evil spirits broke through her defenses and bit her body. No! Feeling the blood in her body constantly flowing out, Kuei let out a cry of despair. However, Ying, who was surrounded by a large number of evil spirits, was unable to save her. Yu Zhongtian and the rest who were under heavy pressure also didn't lend a hand. Very quickly, the despairing Kuei was annihilated by the evil spirits. Bang! A huge explosion resounded, and the blood in her body was almost drained dry. She was bitten beyond recognition. Kuei, who had lost all her life force, self-detonated her heart meridian and launched her final attack. Boom! The terrifying explosion instantly turned thousands of evil spirits into ashes. It soared into the sky and blasted a huge hole in the hard tombs. Let's go up. Seeing the 10-meter-tall tombs were blasted open by Kuei's self-detonation, Yu Zhongtian and the rest didn't hesitate and quickly flew up, thinking of ways to break away from the evil spirit's pursuit. Finally, Yu Zhongtian and the rest spared no effort to break out of the encirclement. They finally broke away from the evil spirits that had been suppressed by the blood spear for who knows how many years. Kuei's death and Xiao Yufu's heavy injuries cast a shadow over everyone's hearts, causing them to not dare to stay in this extremely dangerous tombs for too long. Just as everyone wanted to find a way to leave, they accidentally found a space sealed by a large number of dark lines. In the center of this space, there stood a 2-meter-long, pitch-black mysterious stone coffin that swallowed all light. Readers who want to read the latest chapters of this book, go to the Gathering Cloud Pavilion or visit on your mobile phone. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 604. CT. Stone Coffin. Why is there a stone coffin here? Read the full text of the latest chapter. Looking at the strange stone coffin sealed within the dark mark space, Yu Zhongtian's mind began to work. He had a feeling that the treasure in this sarcophagus might very well be the greatest opportunity in this 100-kilometer-long group of tombs. Yu Zhongtian was very interested in the stone coffin, but Xiao Youbi, Shadow, He Shituji, Yu Yiheng, and the others who had lost their left arm didn't want to take the risk. They were very clear that even if there really was an incomparable opportunity within the stone coffin, it wouldn't be theirs in the end. Staying behind would only increase the danger. Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wang, we'll leave the stone coffin's opportunity to you. We'll be leaving first. Shadow, who was wearing a silver mask, immediately left with He Shituji, Yu Yiheng, and the others. Fuck. Seeing Shadow and the others leave just like that, Yu Zhongtian was infuriated. But he didn't dare to force them to stay, so he could only suppress his anger and discuss a plan with Mo Wang and the others. Wang, I believe that you don't want to be suppressed by that Yi Chunfeng and watch him snatch away one opportunity after another, right? The opportunity in this stone coffin could very well change our awkward situation, Yu Zhongtian said in a low voice as he looked at Mo Wang with a solemn expression. I know. Mo Wang nodded. But I'm afraid there's only one opportunity in this stone coffin. Once we're done, how will we split the treasure? If my guess is correct, this stone coffin must be guarded by an extremely ferocious creature. Once we kill that extremely ferocious creature together, we will decide who will recognize the stone coffin as its master first according to the contribution of killing that extremely ferocious creature. Yu Zhongtian pondered for a moment and suggested. That's a fair method. Mo Wang nodded. All right, it's decided. Since you have no objections, we'll rest for a bit. Then we'll work together to break the seal and see what kind of treasure is sealed within this stone coffin. Read the full text of the latest chapter. After saying that, Yu Zhongtian and the others swallowed several precious heaven-grade soul pills and sat cross-legged outside the sealed space, adjusting their breathing to recover. About half an hour later, Yu Zhongtian and the others recovered their exhausted soul force and joined forces to attack the sealed space. Under Yu Zhongtian's, Mo Wang's, and the rest's ferocious attacks, the dark lines in the space cracked and shattered. In the end, the sealed space was finally broken apart by their combined strength, revealing the mysterious stone coffin in front of Yu Zhongtian and the rest. Wang, how about the two of us go open that stone coffin? Yu Zhongtian suggested as he looked deeply at the mysterious stone coffin. All right. Mo Wang nodded. Gripping the black demonic blade in his hand, he and Yu Zhongtian approached the stone coffin. What a terrifying power! What is sealed in this sarcophagus? As they approached the sarcophagus, Yu Zhongtian could clearly feel an extremely terrifying power emanating from the sarcophagus. This power was so strong that the two of them felt a sense of suffocation. However, both of them had strong hearts of martial arts and were confident that they had powerful trump cards, so they didn't retreat. They attacked the stone coffin with all their strength, wanting to shatter the restrictions on the stone coffin. Their attacks were extremely fierce, but the restrictions on the stone coffin were even stronger. Even after using all their strength, they were still unable to break the restrictions. Instead, they were injured by the powerful backlash. Damn it, how can this stone coffin's restrictions be so strong? Their bitter attacks were fruitless, and they frowned. Helpless, they called Yu Bingyu and the other two over. With everyone's strength, they forcefully broke the restrictions. Mo Baifeng, who was the weakest among them, could not withstand the shockwaves and spat out a mouthful of blood onto the stone coffin. A miracle happened. The restrictions that they were unable to break even with everyone's combined strength became weaker and weaker after fusing with Mo Baifeng's blood. In the end, they disappeared. Open! The stone coffin restrictions fused with the blood and vanished. Yu Zhongtian immediately released the Earth Tao pattern and the Dark Tao pattern, quickly forming the Ghost Divine Claw. He grabbed at the coffin lid that weighed hundreds of thousands of kilograms and forcefully lifted it up. The next moment, black demonic qi gushed out of the coffin like a tidal wave, bombarding the space, forming a powerful black qi current, causing the entire space to tremble. Stomp! Stomp! Caught off guard, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang were forced back by the black devil qi. Their blood and qi were violently tumbling, and they nearly vomited blood. That is a devil saber. The black demonic qi gradually dissipated, and Yu Zhongtian and the others saw a 6-foot-6-inch long demonic saber with a flame pattern engraved on its body and a huge demonic crystal embedded in its hilt emerge from the sarcophagus, floating in the air. Dao artifact. This devil saber is a Dao artifact. The Yu family was a rank 8 sacred ground. Not only did they have Dao artifacts, but they also had Dao artifacts. Thus, when they felt the power released by the Black Devil Saber, Yu Zhongtian immediately determined its grade and became excited. As for Mo Wang and the other two, their eyes were also burning. For tens of thousands of years, there had not been a single Dao artifact in the Western continent. If they could obtain this Devil Saber, their offensive power would definitely be the best in the Western continent. Fight! Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wang, and the others all had the same thought. In order to obtain this Devil Saber, they decided to fight with their lives on the line. Bloodline ignition! Yu Zhongtian roared. Without hesitation, he ignited his bloodline power and transformed into his strongest beast soul form. His right hand held the peak-grade Heaven-tier spear he had just obtained, while his left hand held the high-grade Heaven-tier Earth Splitter Spear. The instant Yu Zhongtian attacked, Mo Wang also summoned the Celestial Blood Skull and attacked. He wanted to suppress the Devil Saber and wait for an opportunity to make it recognize him as its master. Humans! You are the humans I hate the most. I will exterminate you. Facing the fierce attacks of Yu Zhongtian and the others, a savage and deep voice resounded from the Devil Saber. As expected, this Devil Saber is hiding an evil soul. As long as we exterminate that soul, this Devil Saber will become an ownerless object. Hearing the savage voice from the Devil Saber, Yu Zhongtian and the others did not retreat. Instead, they increased their attacks, attacking the Devil Saber with all their might, trying to damage the soul within the Devil Saber. Facing the continuous attacks of Yu Zhongtian and the others, the Devil Saber fiercely counterattacked. Rays of saber light slashed down, shattering their attacks and suppressing them. Bingyu entered the formation. The Devil Saber's offensive power was too terrifying. After fighting for an incense stick's worth of time, Yu Zhongtian and the others were all injured. Left with no choice, Yu Zhongtian summoned the formation diagram and entered it with Yu Bingyu, borrowing the power of the formation diagram to increase their strength. Mo Wang, think of a way to suppress the Devil Saber. Bingyu and I will heavily injure the soul within the Devil Saber. After forming the formation, Yu Zhongtian immediately transmitted a message to Mo Wang and the others. Okay. Mo Wang and the others nodded and took the risk to approach the Devil Saber, attacking it with all their might, trying their best to suppress it. Eternal Silence Millstone. While the Devil Saber was being suppressed by Mo Wang and the others' attacks, Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu's soul power and Dao intent fused together, forming an Eternal Silence Millstone that distorted space and ruthlessly slammed into the Devil Saber, attacking the soul within the Devil Saber. Roar! Roar! After being attacked by the Eternal Silence Millstone, the soul within the Devil Saber was immediately injured, and it let out a painful roar. At this moment, Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu did not hesitate to detonate the Eternal Silence Millstone. The terrifying explosive power surged into the Devil Saber like a tidal wave, further damaging the mysterious soul within the Devil Saber. Just as Yu Zhongtian and the other four were trying their best to erase the soul in the demonic saber, Yi Chunfeng, who was using the powerful deduction ability of the God-Eater brain to engrave the Tao pattern of death, suddenly opened his eyes. He looked at the trembling tombs in the distance and smelled an unusual aura. Readers who wish to read the latest chapters of this book, please visit the Gathered Cloud Pavilion or on your mobile phone. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to read it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 605. What is going on? What did Yu Zhongtian and the others encounter in the tombs? Why is there such a huge commotion? Yi Chunfeng frowned and muttered to himself. He looked at the tombs with a grave expression. If it wasn't for the fact that the Death Tao pattern was too attractive to him, he would have rushed into the tombs to find out what was going on. I don't care. Let's engrave the Death Tao pattern on the stone tablet into the God-Eater brain first. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and dismissed all distracting thoughts. He continued to control the God-Eater brain to engrave the Death Tao pattern. At the same time, Ing, Heisher, Tuji, and the others, who had left early, were besieged by a large number of evil spirits. They were fighting fiercely in the tombs as they tried their best to break out of the tomb. In order to survive, Heisher, Tuji, and the others constantly revealed their powerful trump cards. They were like extremely sharp blades that constantly tore apart the evil spirit. Slowly, they approached the entrance of the tomb. Everyone, hold on a little longer. We will be able to leave this damned place soon. Heisher, who was at the front, saw the entrance of the tomb from afar. He was holding the bloodthirsty sky axe and was shouting loudly. Hold on, I must hold on. After losing his left arm, Xiaoyubi's combat strength was greatly reduced. He gritted his teeth and bitterly held on. Just as Heisher, Tuji, and the others were about to rush out of the tomb, Xiaoyubi suddenly felt something entangled his legs. He quickly looked down and saw a strange black plant that looked like a vine entangling his legs, restricting his mobility. Just as he wanted to break the vine entangling his legs, dozens of ferocious evil spirits appeared. They howled and pounced at him, tearing his body apart. No, save me. I beg you to save me. With his legs entangled and his body attacked by dozens of evil spirits, Xiaoyubi was in despair. He desperately attacked while crying for help at Heisher, Tuji, and the others. However, at this critical moment, Heisher, Tuji, and the others didn't care about his life. Instead, they took advantage of him, attracting a large number of evil spirits to rush out of the tomb. Boom! There was a huge explosion. Xiaoyubi's defense was broken, and he was in so much pain that he wanted to die. He self-detonated and died unwillingly. And what did you encounter inside? Yi Chunfeng was jolted awake by Xiaoyubi's self-detonation. He looked at Heisher, Tuji, and the others, who were covered in blood and in a sorry state, and asked, Sai, this tomb is too dangerous. Both Kuei and Evil Willow are dead. Seeing that the evil spirits in the tombs didn't come out, Heisher Tuji let out a long sigh of relief. He sat down on the ground and told Yi Chunfeng what had happened in the tombs. Yu Zhongtian obtained a top-grade heaven artifact spear from the tombs. You also found a mysterious stone coffin in the depths of the tombs. After listening to Blackstone Earth Pole's description, Yi Chunfeng frowned. He had a feeling that the treasures in this stone coffin were no trifling matter. They were likely even more valuable than the top-grade heaven artifact spear that Yu Zhongtian had obtained at the beginning. Although he might have missed a huge opportunity, Yi Chunfeng didn't regret it. After all, Tao intent was the foundation. Weapons were just external objects. Moreover, the Death Tao intent was a very powerful Tao intent. If he could comprehend it, his attack power would increase greatly. After understanding the situation, Yi Chunfeng glanced at the tombs that were constantly exploding. He didn't blindly go in to fight for the treasures in the stone coffin. He continued to control the God-Eater brain to carve the Death Dao patterns on the Death Dao steel. At this time, the battle between Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang, and the others had reached the climax. Yu Zhongtian and the others didn't hold back in their attacks. The soul within the Devil Saber was severely injured, while Yu Zhongtian and the others were also injured by the saber lights. Especially Mo Baifeng, who was struck by the saber lights. His entire body was almost split apart, and he was thrown several hundred meters away. He had completely lost his ability to fight. Despicable humans, go to hell! The mysterious soul within the Devil Saber let out an uncontrollable roar. It controlled the saber to attack fiercely. Each saber light was stronger than the previous one, and it was like a rolling tide. Layer after layer, it was endless. Heavenly treasure, ancient compass. Heavenly treasure, blood skull. Heavenly treasure, demonic needle. When the saber's fatal attack came, Yu Zhongtian and the others immediately summoned their 3 heavenly treasures. Borrowing the power of the 3 heavenly treasures, they resisted the saber lights. Rumble, 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 rumble. After a round of fierce attacks, the saber lights from the saber sent the 3 heavenly treasures flying. The remaining power swept towards Yu Zhongtian and the others, wanting to kill them. Black Devil Venerable Talisman. At this crucial moment, Yu Zhongtian used his final trump card, his greatest reliance. The Yu family had spent a great deal of effort, a large amount of devil blood, and over 10 years to refine the Black Devil Venerable Talisman. A dark golden ancient talisman appeared on his body. When he spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood essence into the ancient talisman, a terrifying aura spread out from the ancient talisman and turned into a level 3 combat beast Emperor Demon Venerable wearing black demonic armor. The Demon Venerable swung his fist with great force to meet the attack. Boom! Space trembled. The Black Devil Venerable's fist directly shattered the saber's remaining power, and it continued its ferocious attack. Let's attack together. Borrow the Black Devil Venerable's power to destroy the soul within the saber. A crack appeared on Yu Zhongtian's talisman. He could only use it once, so he put the Black Demon Sovereign Talisman back into his body. Holding the extreme quality spear and earth-splitting spear, he charged forward with Yu Bingyu, coordinating with the Black Demon Sovereign to attack with all their might. Attack! Mo Wuang's group of 3 also appeared at the same time. Their fierce attacks finally suppressed the saber's offensive. Devils, you actually used the blood of my devil race to refine a devil talisman. You deserve death. Facing the Black Devil Venerable's tyrannical fist, the mysterious soul within the saber let out a furious roar. It didn't hesitate to burn its soul to counterattack. Could it be that the soul within the saber and the devil heart that sect master refined came from the same person? Hearing the roar from the saber, Mo Wuang raised his brows. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that the dragon abyss was hiding a huge secret. Time passed quickly amidst the intense battle. Very quickly, 4 hours had passed. In these 4 hours, Yu Zhongtian's group had paid a huge price. They had all suffered heavy injuries. The Black Devil Venerable that Yu Zhongtian had summoned had nearly exhausted all its energy. It could dissipate at any moment. Furthermore, the soul within the saber was even more exhausted. It was faintly unable to control the saber's attack. Black Devil Venerable, explode for me! Sensing that the saber's attacks were becoming slower and slower, Yu Zhongtian immediately ordered the Black Devil Venerable to approach the saber and detonate its body to deal a fatal blow. Boom! The Black Demon Supremacy exploded, releasing a destructive demonic power that shattered the space and bombarded the demonic saber at close range. No. Facing the fatal blow of the Black Devil Venerable, the saber let out an unwilling roar. After enduring for 3 breaths of time, its soul was finally destroyed by the destructive demonic energy and disappeared into the saber. Phew, it's dead. We finally destroyed the soul within the saber. Sensing that the soul within the saber had completely disappeared, Yu Zhongtian and the rest heaved a sigh of relief. They all looked at the saber that was stabbed into the ground. They all wanted to take it for themselves. Readers who want to read the latest chapters of this book, please visit the Gathered Cloud Pavilion mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 606. 220-48527. I'll be the first to recognize this demonic saber. Does anyone have any objections? Yu Zhongtian took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood and injuries in his body. He looked at the pale-faced Emo Wang, Emo Qianxin, and the rest and said domineeringly, "You're the first, but I must be the second." Emo Wang gritted his teeth and whispered. Although he had tried his best just now, his trump card was far inferior to the black demon ancestor that Yu Zhongtian had summoned. Therefore, in terms of contribution, he knew that he was inferior to Yu Zhongtian. Okay. Yu Zhongtian agreed without hesitation. Finally, the order of the demonic saber was out. Yu Zhongtian was first, Emo Wang was second, Yu Bingyu was third, Emo Qianxin was fourth, and Emo Baifeng, who had lost his battle strength and was almost killed, was fifth. Huff! Yu Zhongtian took a deep breath and adjusted his state of mind. He slowly walked towards the demonic saber stuck in the ground. He stretched out his hands and tightly grasped the hilt that was inlaid with a huge demonic crystal and made of special materials. In the next moment, Yu Zhongtian pulled out the demonic saber and broke his palms. Large amounts of blood flowed out and seeped into the demonic saber along the hilt as he tried to recognize it as its master. Death Dao intent. As large amounts of blood flowed into the demonic saber, Yu Zhongtian immediately felt the Death Dao intent appear in the demonic saber and refined his blood. His face instantly turned gloomy. Dark Dao pattern fuse. Yu Zhongtian had not comprehended the Death Dao intent and could only try to fuse the 20 Dark Dao patterns into the demonic saber to restrain the Death Dao intent in the demonic saber. However, the moment the 20 Dark Dao patterns entered the demonic saber, Yu Zhongtian could clearly feel a terrifying energy forming in the demonic saber. It crushed the Dark Dao patterns and attacked Yu Zhongtian. Bang! Caught off guard, Yu Zhongtian's arms suffered a backlash from the demonic saber and were almost severed. He lost control of his body and was pushed back several meters by the demonic saber. A trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. It's my turn. Seeing that Yu Zhongtian had failed to recognize the demonic saber, Emo Wang secretly heaved a sigh of relief and immediately walked towards the demonic saber. Zhongtian, are you all right? Seeing Yu Zhongtian return with a gloomy expression and bleeding arms, Yu Bingyu asked with concern. Royal Academy of Languages. It's fine. Yu Zhongtian unwillingly looked at the demonic saber, unable to accept the fact that he had failed to become its master. Earlier on, when the devil saber tried to bite Yu Zhongtian, Emo Wang's powerful soul spirit had sensed the Dao intent of death from the saber. Back when he was roaming the Western continent, he was fortunate enough to comprehend 2 Dao patterns of death. Therefore, he was confident that he could get this devil saber to recognize him as its master. Who? Emo Wang took a deep breath and adjusted his breathing. Then, he bit his finger and dripped a drop of essence blood onto the demonic saber. Following that, 2 Death Dao patterns emerged from Emo Wang's body and fused into the devil saber. Dao pattern of death. He actually comprehended 2 Dao patterns of death. Seeing that Emo Wang had condensed 2 Dao patterns of death, Yu Zhongtian's heart skipped a beat. He had a feeling that the greatest opportunity he had encountered in the Dragon Abyss was about to pass him by. After fusing with Emo Wang's Dao pattern of death, the demonic saber gradually calmed down and allowed the essence blood to flow into the demonic saber. Seeing that the demonic saber did not reject his essence blood, Emo Wang was overjoyed. he continued to force out large amounts of essence blood and fused it into the demonic saber. Soon, the demonic saber absorbed Mo Wang's essence blood and established a connection with him. Low-grade Dao weapon, Sky Demonic Dao Soldier, contains the Dao intent of death. After the demonic saber recognized him as its master, information about the demonic saber appeared in Mo Wang's mind. Although he was a half-step combat beast emperor and could not unleash the full power of the Sky Demonic Dao Soldier, with it, Mo Wang had the ability to kill a Class 2 combat beast emperor. Keep. With a thought, Mo Wang kept the Sky Demonic Dao Soldier in his body and controlled his flames of life to slowly refine it. F***ck. He really got the demonic saber. Seeing Mo Wang keep the Sky Demonic Dao Soldier in his body, Yu Zhongtian's eyes spat out thick flames. He was so jealous that his heart was bleeding. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that his greatest trump card would end up benefiting someone else. Brother Yu, I'm already satisfied with the Sky Demonic Dao Soldier. If there's another great opportunity, I won't snatch it from you. Seeing Yu Zhongtian's gloomy face and his eyes flickering with ferocity, Mo Wang was in a good mood. All right. Hearing Mo Wang's words, Yu Zhongtian's expression eased a little. He quickly swallowed an elixir and sat cross-legged on the ground to recover. After about half a day, other than the heavily injured Mo Baifeng, Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wang, and the others had all recovered from their injuries and expended soul power. However, they didn't immediately leave the 100-kilometer tombs that were filled with danger. Under the leadership of Mo Wang and the Sky Demon Dao soldiers, they continued to search for fortuitous encounters and strengthen themselves. Time passed day by day. Yi Chenfeng controlled the God-Eater brain for about 4 days in a daze. Finally, he engraved the 20 Dao patterns on the Death Dao steel into the God-Eater brain. Legend of the Great Desert 1. After successfully engraving the Dao patterns, Yi Chenfeng immediately calmed down and removed all distracting thoughts. He began to comprehend the extremely destructive Death Dao intent. Once he cultivated the Death Dao intent to the second heavenly layer, his offensive strength would increase by a level. What's wrong? What's he doing? Just as He Shi and the others were waiting for Yu Zhongtian and the others, they were suddenly awakened by a powerful killing energy. They opened their eyes and discovered that this terrifying killing energy was emitted by Yi Chenfeng. With the help of the God-Eater brain, Yi Chenfeng comprehended the Death Dao intent to the first heavenly layer in a single day. At this time, the 8 Sha Azura art began to circulate uncontrollably. Moreover, it circulated faster and faster, crazily refining the dense killing energy accumulated in Yi Chenfeng's body. In less than half an incense stick's time, the 6th killing halo appeared behind Yi Chenfeng. After another incense stick's time, Yi Chenfeng condensed the 7th killing halo. The killing energy contained within the killing halo had reached a terrifying degree. So the 8 Sha Azura art's cultivation is based on the Death Dao intent. Only by cultivating the Death Dao intent to the first heavenly layer can the 8 Sha Azura art be cultivated to the perfection stage. Sensing that he had cultivated the 8 Sha Azura art to the 7th layer in less than 2 incense sticks' time, Yi Chenfeng finally understood why he had been unable to condense the 6th killing halo even though he had accumulated enough killing energy in the beginning. With the help of the 7 killing halos, Yi Chenfeng's attack power was greatly increased. However, he didn't know that Mo Wang had obtained a low-grade Dao artifact in the 100-mile tombs, which posed a fatal threat to him. After cultivating the 8 Sha Azura art to the 7th layer, Yi Chenfeng calmed his heart and continued to comprehend the Death Dao intent. After another half a day, the heavily injured Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wang, and the others rushed out of the 100-mile tombs. After several days of searching, Yu Zhongtian and the others found a few more fortuitous encounters in the tombs, which greatly increased their strength. However, they knew the value of Yi Chenfeng, so they didn't attack immediately. They also didn't reveal the Sky Demon Dao artifact. After resting for more than a day, they left the 100-mile tombs and continued to fly towards the depths of the desolate space. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 607. 220-48529. This dragon abyss is simply too big. The group followed Yi Chunfeng, breaking through the layers of seals and flying through this desolate space for 3 days and 3 nights. They had yet to reach the end, nor had they encountered any other opportunities. Wait, everyone, stop. As they flew, Yi Chunfeng suddenly stopped, sat down on the ground, and radiated the God-Eater brain in all directions. About an hour later, Yi Chunfeng opened his tightly shut eyes, which shone with a sharp light as he looked at a strange craggy rock not far in front of him. "What's wrong, Yi Chunfeng? What did you discover this time?" Seeing Yi Chunfeng silently staring at the craggy rock for a long time, Heisher 2G frowned and asked, "If I'm not mistaken, in these 3 days, we've circled this desolate space 5 times. Yi Chunfeng slowly said. 5 times. Everyone grimaced at Yi Chunfeng's words. Yu Zhongtian somewhat angrily said, "Yi Chunfeng, since you already discovered that we were circling around, why didn't you stop earlier? Were you playing with us?" "Yu Zhongtian, you talk too much nonsense." Yi Chunfeng coldly looked at him and rudely said, "As for the reason, I don't need to tell you. Also, don't think that you have nothing to fear just because you found a great opportunity in the tombs. Let me tell you, without me, all of you will be dead." Humph! Yu Zhongtian was enraged by Yi Chunfeng's warning, but he also knew that now was not the time to shed all pretense of cordiality with Yi Chunfeng. He had no choice but to suppress his anger, coldly snorted, and said no more. End advertisement. Everyone, listen to my orders. Use all your strength to attack that craggy rock. If I'm not mistaken, that craggy rock is a spatial node. Once we break it, we should be able to leave this space, Yi Chunfeng said as he pointed to the spatial node that he discovered after 3 days of deductions. Yu Zhongtian and the others needed to rely on Yi Chunfeng, but Yi Chunfeng also needed to borrow their strength to deal with the great dangers that could appear at any time in the Dragon Abyss. So, knowing that Yu Zhongtian and the others had ill intentions, Yi Chunfeng could only ask a tiger for its skin. Attack! Following Yi Chunfeng's command, everyone unleashed their powerful Dao techniques and bombarded the strange craggy rock. The endless attacks caused the space to distort and crack. Boom, boom, boom. After being bombarded by the ferocious Dao skills, the jagged rocks shattered into pieces, sending out dense energy ripples. The Legend of the Desert. Go! Yi Chunfeng didn't hesitate when he saw a spatial rift appear in the center of the energy ripples. He led everyone into the spatial rift and disappeared into the desolate space. The Black Temple. After passing through the spatial rift, Yi Chunfeng and the others found themselves in a desolate grassland filled with stars. In the center of the grassland stood a 10-meter-tall, pitch-black temple that swallowed all the light around it. It was unknown how long it had been there. There must be a great opportunity in this black temple. Looking at the black temple in front of them, everyone had the same thought. Yu Zhongtian even swore to himself that he would not let this opportunity slip away from under his nose. However, Yi Chunfeng didn't move, so they didn't act rashly. Everyone's eyes shot towards Yi Chunfeng, who had his eyes tightly shut. "Let's go. We're going to the Black Temple." Yi Chunfeng slowly opened his eyes and summoned the golden rock wings. He controlled the snake spear to tear apart the illusory runes in the space as he flew towards the Black Temple. Statues! So many statues! As they approached the Black Divine Palace, Yi Chunfeng and the others discovered that there was a large formation floating around the Divine Palace, exuding a murderous aura. Within the formation, There were many statues that looked like stars, holding demonic weapons in their hands, all of different shapes and sizes. Although Yi Chunfeng and the others were enveloped by the array and couldn't see what these statues were, Yi Chunfeng and the others could smell a thick aura of danger from them. Come, let's enter the array. Yi Chunfeng hesitated for a moment before leading the group into the somber array. Buzz buzz buzz. When Yi Chunfeng and the others flew into the array, there was a huge vibration. The somber array floated from the ground to mid-air and burst out with earth-shaking power that fused into the black statues. In the next moment, a series of bone-chilling cries of ghosts rang out. The statues, which were as dense as stars in the sky, fused with the power of the great killing formation and came back to life, revealing a large number of ghost generals and ghost soldiers wearing black armor and wielding demonic weapons. They howled as they attacked Yi Chunfeng and the others. Don't slow down. Let's rush over. Seeing the ghost generals and ghost soldiers that suddenly came back to life, Yi Chunfeng, who was in the lead, didn't slow down. He flapped his golden rock wings rapidly and rushed over with the monarch weapon. The sword-type and thunder-type Dao patterns spewed out their monarch weapons and turned them into extremely destructive thunderous swords. They carried an unstoppable force and directly slashed a large number of ghost generals and ghost soldiers into pieces. As for Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang and the others, they followed closely behind Yi Chunfeng, blasting out one terrifying Dao skill after another, destroying the demon generals and demon soldiers that were surging towards them from all directions, not giving them a chance to get close. Roar! Roar! Just as Yi Chunfeng and the others broke through the encirclement and were getting closer to the black shrine, savage roars rang out. More than 10 skeletal bone snakes broke out of the array and hissed savagely, sealing off Yi Chunfeng and the others' path. Male teacher of female students, 8 Sha Azura Art, Eternal Night. Blocked by more than 10 bone snakes, Yi Chunfeng decisively circulated the 8 Sha Azura Art, condensing 7 killing halos. He slashed out the Eternal Night sword light towards a bone snake with a long bone mouth that was flying over at an extremely fast speed. The 7 killing powers and the sword-type Dao patterns fused together and turned into a pitch-black sword light that slashed forward. In that instant the world turned pitch-black. All the light was swallowed up by the Eternal Night sword light. Only that unparalleled divine sword that could split the heavens and earth was left. Boom! The power of death spewed out by the bone snake was forcefully shattered by the Eternal Night sword light. Its steel-like body was also cleaved into 2 by the Eternal Night sword light. It turned into a large number of white bones and scattered on the ground. After killing the bone snake with a single sword, Yi Chunfeng immediately executed the wind-riding art and rushed past the remaining bone snakes before they could block him. He was extremely close to the Black Shrine. Sky-dancing demonic art. Yi Chunfeng was the first to kill his way out of the encirclement of bone snakes. Yu Zhongtian and Yu Bingyu both circulated the sky-dancing demonic art and summoned devil shadows. They slaughtered the ferocious bone snakes and chased after Yi Chunfeng. Soon enough, more than 10 bone snakes were killed by everyone. The resurrected ghost generals and ghost soldiers were also destroyed by the extremely destructive Dao skills. Their bones and ghost soldiers were scattered all over the ground. Just as everyone rushed out of the Black Shrine under Yi Chunfeng's lead, they were blocked by the restriction that enveloped the shrine. Everyone, let's work together and break this restriction. Yi Chunfeng yelled out and wielded his ruler weapon. He executed his Dao skills and bombarded the restriction at the shrine's entrance. Under the fierce attacks of Yi Chunfeng and the others, the shrine's restriction began to tremble violently. At this moment, the killing array that was operating at high speed surged out a thick death aura and poured into the bone snakes, ghost generals, and ghost soldiers that Yi Chunfeng and the others had just killed. In the next moment, these dead creatures that had been killed were resurrected. They let out a hair-raising ghost cry and chased after them with murderous intent. You guys block them. Don't let them disturb me. I'll break this restriction. After failing to forcefully break the restriction, Yi Chunfeng immediately asked Yu Zhongtian and the others to protect him and control the God-Eater brain to break the array. Although they were extremely unwilling, Yu Zhongtian and the others still obediently surrounded Yi Chunfeng in the center and attacked the undead creatures that were surging towards them like a tide, killing them with all their might. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 608. God-Eater Brain, Break the Seal. While Yu Zhongtian and the rest were defending against the undead creatures, Yi Chunfeng controlled the energy of the God-Eater brain and sent it into the seal, searching for an opportunity to break the formation. F*CK, this Yi Chunfeng wouldn't be stalling for time on purpose to exhaust our soul force, right? After resisting with all their might for more than an hour, Yi Chunfeng was still unable to break the formation. This caused Yu Zhongtian and the rest to be enraged, suspecting that Yi Chunfeng was stalling for time on purpose. Although they were enraged, they knew that they had no ulcers. They could only grit their teeth and curse Yi Chunfeng in their hearts while resisting with all their might. Just as the dead creatures outside the Black Divine Temple were killed again and again, they were revived by the power of the Great Killing Array. After attacking without fear of death for nearly 4 hours, Yu Zhongtian and the others were completely exhausted. Yi Chunfeng suddenly opened his eyes. The power of the 4 great spiritual pearls erupted and poured into his right index finger. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng soared into the air and flew to a spot 10 zhang away, pointing a finger at the seal outside the Black Divine Temple. Wung, wung, wung! Under the attack of Yi Chunfeng's 5 million gene index finger, the indestructible seal was pierced through by Yi Chunfeng's finger. A large number of spiderweb-like cracks spread out with Yi Chunfeng's finger as the center. Great Sun Heavenly Fire Fist Break. After breaking the seal with a single finger, Yi Chunfeng's body moved and punched out. The blazing fist light directly shattered the seal. So, Yi Chunfeng's body flashed, and he was the first to charge into the mysterious Black Divine Temple. Go! When Yu Zhongtian and the rest saw Yi Chunfeng charging into the Black Divine Temple, they quickly gave up on defending against the undead creatures and rushed into the Black Divine Temple. When the undead creatures that only knew how to kill saw Yi Chunfeng and the rest enter the Black Divine Temple, they did not dare to approach. Instead, they surrounded the Black Divine Temple so tightly that not even a drop of water could pass through. 10 million gene of force, open! Yi Chunfeng landed on the 10-meter-tall door of the Divine Black Palace, which was made of special materials, inlaid with 2 beast heads, and covered with a large number of ancient patterns. Immediately, a force of over 10 million gene burst out from Yi Chunfeng's arms, forcefully pushing open the million gene door. Suddenly, a boundless and ancient aura gushed out from the temple, causing Yi Chunfeng and the others to feel oppressed and heavy. What exactly is in this black temple? Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath. He took out a moonstone and held it in his hand. The moonstone illuminated the pitch-black space. Then, he carefully walked in. Walking into the black temple, Yi Chunfeng saw a strange black sarcophagus placed in the middle of the hall that was supported by 48 black coiling dragon pillars. On top of the sarcophagus was an oval-shaped stone tablet with the word "seal" engraved on it. However, what attracted Yi Chunfeng the most wasn't the stone coffin or the stone tablet, but the incomparably sharp sword tip embedded in the stone tablet. That's the tip of the Emperor's sky sword. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows. With one look, he could tell that the sword tip was the tip of the Emperor's sky sword. Could it be that the sarcophagus is suppressing another part of the demon's body? Looking at the tip of the Emperor's sky sword, Yi Chunfeng couldn't help but think of the thing suppressed in the sarcophagus. His delicate face revealed a trace of seriousness. Sarcophagus. Yu Zhongtian looked at the black sarcophagus with a fiery gaze. He guessed that there might be a Dao artifact inside. He immediately sent a voice transmission to Mo Wuang. Wuang, help me obtain the opportunity in the sarcophagus, and I'll owe you a favor. All right. Mo Wuang nodded his head and agreed without hesitation. After speaking, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang walked over slowly, approaching the black sarcophagus that was suppressed by the stone tablet. Wait, don't go near the black sarcophagus. Yi Chunfeng had experienced the terror of a demon's heart before. If the sarcophagus was really suppressing another part of the demon's body, once it was released, it would be a fatal threat to everyone. However, the two of them who had suffered once before ignored Yi Chunfeng's warning. They walked directly to the seal, stone tablet and swiftly attacked it. Boom! After being attacked by Yu Zhongtian and his companion, the seal, stone steel trembled violently. A powerful soul-suppressing power leaked out from the stone steel and filled the air, causing dense water ripples to appear in the space around it. Word! Yi Chunfeng didn't expect Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang to be so daring. They didn't even know what was inside the black sarcophagus before attacking. His expression changed slightly, and he immediately stepped forward to stop them. The opportunity in the sarcophagus is mine. Whoever dares to snatch it from me will be my enemy. Having his opportunity stolen time and time again, Yu Zhongtian had long been enraged. Now that Yi Chunfeng had stopped him, he was even more enraged. Wuang Bingyu Qinxin, stop him for me. For the sake of obtaining the opportunity in the sarcophagus, Yu Zhongtian finally shed all pretense of cordiality with Yi Chunfeng. Leave it to me. Myriad transformations Black Lotus. Mo Wuang quickly turned around, and the surging Tao of darkness and Tao of death merged together to form a slowly blooming black lotus. With extreme speed, it attacked Yi Chunfeng. The moment Mo Wuang made his move, Yu Bingyu and Mo Qinxin also quickly attacked, using their Dao skills to attack Yi Chunfeng from both sides, wanting to suppress him together. Extreme Dark Dao. The three Dao skills attacked, and Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the Dao wills to fuse together. The Extreme Dark Dao skill blasted forward, shattering the myriad transformations Black Lotus and blocking Yu Bingyu and Mo Qinxin's Dao skills. With the Dao skills blocked, Mo Wuang and the other two continued to attack Yi Chunfeng, not giving him a chance to get close to Yu Zhongtian. As for Yu Zhongtian, he seized the opportunity when Tuo Wuang and the other two were attacking Yi Chunfeng with all their might. He took out a supreme-grade heavenly spear and ferociously attacked the soul-suppressing steel. He wanted to shatter it and seize the opportunity within the coffin. Yu Zhongtian, there might be a great opportunity in this black sarcophagus, but there might also be great danger. I order you to stop attacking immediately. Seeing the soul-suppressing steel being attacked by Yu Zhongtian and cracks appearing on it, Yi Chunfeng's face changed slightly, and he loudly ordered, "Order me? Who do you think you are to order me around?" Hearing Yi Chunfeng's order, Yu Zhongtian was even more enraged. Not only did he not stop attacking, but he also increased the intensity of his attacks, determined to shatter the soul-suppressing steel. Yu Zhongtian, if you don't obey, don't blame me for being impolite. As more and more cracks appeared on the soul-suppressing steel, Yi Chunfeng felt an ominous feeling in his heart. He was even more certain that there was great danger in the sarcophagus, and he angrily warned. A powerful aura erupted from his body. Yi Chunfeng, you've already obtained enough opportunities. We won't give you the opportunity in this sarcophagus. Yu Bingyu quickly stood in front of Yi Chunfeng and said coldly, "Dragon's bloodline, ignite." The situation was urgent, and Yi Chunfeng did not waste any more words. He quickly ignited his dragon's bloodline, increasing his soul power by 3 times, and transformed into a half-human half-dragon beast soul form. Black Dragon Heavenly Whip Bind. Seeing Yi Chunfeng transform into a beast soul form, Yu Bingyu quickly took out another supreme-grade heavenly weapon that she had obtained in the 100-mile tomb. It was a black whip that looked like a dragon, and it coiled towards Yi Chunfeng. Mo Qianxin also took out the supreme-grade heavenly spear that Mo Fengyun had given him, and pierced it towards Yi Chunfeng like a hot knife through butter, wanting to force him back. Heartless Heavenly Tao. 6 heavenly Tao runes shot out of Yi Chunfeng's body, transforming into the might of the heavenly Tao. It roared as it blocked the 2 supreme-grade heavenly weapons. Heavenly Demon Tao Weapon / The instant the 2 supreme-grade celestial weapons were blocked, Mo Wuang took out his low-grade Tao weapon, the Sky Demon Tao Armament. He slashed out a blood-red saber shadow, which swept towards Yi Chunfeng like a hot knife through butter. Not good. Sensing the destructive power of the crimson blade shadow, Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to take out the vermilion bird cauldron to block with all his might. A deafening explosion rang out, and Yi Chunfeng was forced back by Mo Wuang's blade. The quasi-Dao artifact, the vermilion bird cauldron, was also almost sent flying. Just as Mo Wuang continued to attack with the demonic blood blade shadow, a large amount of destructive power suddenly surged out of the black sarcophagus, bombarding the cracked soul-suppressing steel and shattering it. In the next instant, a suffocating demonic aura was released from the sarcophagus. The thing that Yi Chunfeng was most worried about had happened. Remember URL. Sanwu Chinese Network. Chapter 609. 220-52338. Buzz. 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 Seeing the soul-suppressing stone tablet shattering and the terrifying existence suppressed in the stone coffin escaping, the Emperor's Sky sword point that was embedded in the soul-suppressing stone tablet spewed out a large amount of sword Tao power. It penetrated the stone tablet and penetrated the stone coffin, shattering the surging demonic aura and preventing the terrifying existence from escaping. What exactly is in this stone coffin? Yu Zhongtian, who was using all his strength to shatter the stone coffin, saw the boundless demonic aura gushing out and sensed the danger. His expression changed slightly as he stopped attacking and rapidly retreated. Yu Zhongtian, you fool! Do you know that your foolish actions might cause our deaths? Seeing the demonic aura gushing out from the stone coffin and the Emperor's Sky sword point clashing intensely, Yi Chunfeng was basically certain that the other body of the demon was suppressed in the stone coffin as he roared furiously. Yi Chunfeng, what exactly is in this stone coffin? Yu Zhongtian spoke with an unpleasant expression as he had an ominous premonition in his heart. If you want to know what is in the stone coffin, stay behind and see for yourself. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng, who had an unpleasant expression, wanted to quickly leave this black divine hall that was filled with danger. He would think of a way to obtain the Emperor's Sky sword point in the future. Just as Yi Chunfeng was preparing to leave, a powerful suppressive force came out from the top of the black divine hall and sealed the entire divine hall. The suppressive force was so strong that Yi Chunfeng and the others felt suffocated. Sword Tao pattern break. The entrance of the divine hall was sealed, and 40 sword Tao patterns immediately gushed out from Yi Chunfeng's body. They gathered into an extremely sharp light sword and pierced over like a hot knife through butter. After being attacked by 40 sword Tao patterns, the restriction at the entrance of the divine hall only had a slight ripple and didn't show any signs of breaking. If you don't want to die, attack together with me. Everything will have to wait until we leave this place. Seeing the indestructible divine hall restriction, Yi Chunfeng roared with an ashen expression. Boom! When they heard Yi Chunfeng's roar, He Shi, 2G, and the others who felt more and more uneasy in their hearts acted swiftly. They wanted to gather the strength of everyone to blast open the restrictions and leave this place. However, at this moment, boundless demonic chi surged out from the black stone coffin once again, shattering the attack of Dion's sword tip. The soul-suppressing stone tablet, which was covered with spiderweb-like cracks, was shattered, and Dion's sword tip was sent flying. Ah, the soul-suppressing tablet is finally broken. This sage is going to see the light of day again. Deity, just you wait. When I reconstruct my demonic body, I will definitely destroy your inheritance. As the soul-suppressing steel shattered, a cruel and ruthless voice rang out from the stone coffin. In the next moment, the black coffin lid that weighed over 1,000,000 Jin was reduced to dust. A pair of pitch-black hands, flowing with demonic light, flew out of the black coffin and appeared in the air, resisting the suppression of the temple. Hands. A pair of hands. Royal Language Academy. Looking at the pair of demonic hands that flew out from the stone coffin, everyone's expression changed. They could smell a strong aura of death from these demonic hands. Just as the demonic hands that had been suppressed for God knows how many years were about to break free, a fist-sized crystal stone that contained boundless power appeared at the top of the temple, which was releasing boundless suppressive force. It immediately suppressed the demonic hands. Heaven crystal. A heaven crystal. Seeing the crystal stone that suddenly appeared at the top of the temple, Yi Chunfeng lifted his brows. He could immediately tell that this crystal stone was an extremely precious heaven crystal. If the sword puppet devours this crystal stone, the Deity sword can merge with the sword tip. With everyone's strength, we might be able to destroy this demonic hand. Since he couldn't blast open the suppressive restrictions in a short period of time, Yi Chunfeng had his eyes on the heaven crystal. You want to seal me with a mere middle-grade heaven crystal? Shatter. A ruthless voice rang out from the demonic hands again. It blasted out 2 punches towards the middle-grade heaven crystal at the top of the temple, shattering the suppressive force that was pouring down. Yi Chunfeng, did the demonic hands and demonic hearts come from that demon? Yu Zhongtian and the others, who had witnessed Mo Fengyun, Yu Qinyuan, and the others fighting against the demonic hearts, guessed the origins of the demonic hands. They all looked towards Yi Chunfeng and asked softly, "Why? Are you scared?" Looking at the solemn faces of Yu Zhongtian and the others, Yi Chunfeng said without holding back, "Weren't you all very mighty and didn't listen to advice? Why are you all scared now? After releasing the demonic hands, you all can think of ways to deal with it yourselves. If you can't, then you all can just wait to be killed." As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng didn't bother about Yu Zhongtian and the others, who had a gloomy expression. He turned around decisively and charged towards the Deity sword tip that was stabbed into the ground. He wanted to obtain it first. Rumble! When Yi Chunfeng got close to the Deity sword tip, the demonic hands attacked the middle-grade heaven crystal ferociously. Waves of suffocating power gushed out from the top of everyone's heads and struck their bodies. What are you all waiting for? Let's work together to break the restrictions and leave this place first. Sensing the terror of the demonic hands, Yu Zhongtian was scared. He wielded the supreme-grade heaven spear and attacked the restrictions with all his might. Yu Zhongtian and the others spared no effort in launching attacks that were extremely powerful. However, the black divine hall that was suppressing the demonic hands was even more terrifying. It withstood their ferocious attacks and didn't show any signs of cracking. Just as the entire divine hall was in chaos, Yi Chunfeng appeared beside the Deity sword tip and took it out. Sensing the Deity sword, the Deity sword art that was stabbed into the ground started to tremble. It turned into a stream of light and fused with the Deity sword. Sword-type Dao patterns. This Deity sword art is filled with 10 sword-type Dao patterns. When fusing with the Deity sword art, Yi Chunfeng felt that the Deity sword's quality had reached supreme-grade heaven artifact. Furthermore, he could clearly sense 10 sword-type Dao patterns in the Deity sword. After successfully fusing with the Deity sword art, Yi Chunfeng's next target was that middle-grade heaven crystal. However, the power of the demonic hands was too terrifying. Yi Chunfeng didn't go near it blindly and was waiting for an opportunity. Legend of the Great Desert. Boom, boom, boom. The demonic hands attacked ferociously for 15 minutes and exhausted a large amount of the middle-grade heaven crystal's power. It also weakened the suppressive force that filled the divine hall. Yu Zhongtian and the others, who were attacking ferociously, took advantage of the weakening of the middle-grade heaven crystal's power and finally broke the suppressive restrictions. Humans, obediently offer up your life and blood. Seeing that Yu Zhongtian and the others had broken through the suppressive restrictions, the terrifying demonic hands blasted out 2 black demonic palms and smashed towards them like Mount Tai. Damn it! Suddenly attacked by the demonic hands, Yu Zhongtian and the others had no choice but to stop attacking the suppressive restrictions and defend with all their might. Sky Demonic Dao Soldier. I didn't expect that this saint's weapon would be obtained by you. Seeing that the demonic palms he blasted out were shattered by Mo Wang's Sky Demonic Dao Soldier, the remnant soul in the demonic hands let out a savage roar and increased the intensity of its attacks, wanting to kill Mo Wang and snatch the Sky Demonic Dao Soldier. Yi Chunfeng, what are you waiting for? If we all die, don't even think about living. Enduring the ferocious attacks of the demonic hands, Yu Zhongtian and the others felt immense pressure. Left with no choice, they could only seek help from the powerful Yi Chunfeng. However, towards Yu Zhongtian's pleas for help, Yi Chunfeng ignored them completely. At this moment, his attention was completely focused on the middle-grade heaven crystal. PFFF. Facing the black demonic palms head-on, the heavily injured Mo Baifeng, whose strength had been greatly reduced, was sent flying. Large amounts of blood spurted out from his mouth. Just as his body slammed heavily into the suppressive restrictions behind him, the demonic hands suddenly tore apart Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang's attack. Like 2 strange black meteors, they pierced through Mo Baifeng's defenses and blasted into his body. In the next moment, endless demonic qi surged out from Mo Baifeng's body. The terrifying demonic hands devoured Mo Baifeng's life force and occupied his body, controlling him. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 610. Sword Puppet, Devour the Heaven Crystal. As the demonic hand devoured Mo Baifeng's life and took control of his body, Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword puppet and ordered it to soar into the sky and devour the mid-grade heaven crystal that had fused with the shrine. The moment the sword puppet devoured the mid-grade heaven crystal, the demonic hand that had taken control of Mo Baifeng's body sensed something was wrong. It glared at the sword puppet fiercely. At this time, Yi Chunfeng stepped on lightning and flew over like a bolt of lightning. He shouted, "What are you guys waiting for? Attack with all your might. If we can't kill him, we'll all die here. Damn it, attack." Hearing Yi Chunfeng's shout, Yu Zhongtian and the rest were inwardly furious. But looking at the lifeless Mo Baifeng who was controlled by the demonic hand, they knew that they had no way out. If they couldn't kill the demonic hand, their fate would be as tragic as Mo Baifeng's. Great demon slaying dragon blade. Mo Wang roared and slashed down with the Sky Demon Dao weapon. The crimson blade light turned into a murderous demonic dragon that slashed at Mo Baifeng's body. The moment Mo Wang attacked, Yu Zhongtian, Yu Bingyu, and the rest attacked at the same time. Ferocious Dao skills swept out like a raging tide. Facing the ferocious attacks of Mo Wang and the rest, Mo Baifeng's hands burned with black demonic qi. 2 unparalleled and terrifying palm prints shot out, shattering the crimson demonic dragon blade light and the surging Dao skills. The entire space began to collapse. Wrath of God's punishment. Just as the space was collapsing, the 3 heavenly spirits spat out Yi Chunfeng's body, turning it into the power of God's punishment. It twisted the space, and like a destructive meteor, it smashed towards Mo Baifeng. Boom! When the wrath of God's punishment hit Mo Baifeng, it exploded. The terrifying explosive force spread out, increasing the area of the space collapse. It broke through Mo Baifeng's body's defenses and crazily destroyed his body. 10 directions Sky Demon Slash. As Mo Baifeng was swept away by the destructive storm, Mo Wuang ignited the power of his bloodline. Wielding the Sky Devil Dao weapon, he unleashed his strongest attack. A scarlet-red cross-shaped blade slashed down, tearing apart space as it slashed through the storm of destruction, directly splitting apart Mo Baifeng's bloody body. Lowly humans, I want all of you dead. Mo Baifeng's Dharma body was destroyed, and the devil hand was also injured. The mysterious soul in the devil hand let out a furious roar, piercing through the storm of destruction and charging towards Yi Chenfeng and the others. Boom, boom, boom. A series of deafening explosions rang out. Yi Chenfeng and the others clashed fiercely with the devil hand. Endless storms filled the shrine, causing it to shake violently. Cracks appeared on the hard ground. Puff, puff, puff. Yi Chenfeng and the others clashed fiercely with the devil hand. The destructive power was too terrifying. Zi Yun, Yu Yiheng, Shadow, and the others could not withstand the increasingly powerful shockwaves and were sent flying, suffering heavy injuries. What a strong defensive power! The defensive power of this devil hand is probably at the level of a pseudo-Dao treasure. Looking at the devil hand that was unharmed after taking on wave after wave of destructive attacks, Yi Chenfeng also felt troubled. He had no choice but to ignite his God Dao bloodline and transform into his strongest God Dao body. 20 million gene of strength, explode. Yi Chenfeng roared out. The Emperor's Sky sword that had fused with the sword tip appeared in his hand. Surging energy fused into the Emperor's Sky sword, and it twisted the space around it. The devil hand that was coming at him with extreme speed blocked the attack of the devil hand. Emperor's Sky Sword. Why do you have the Emperor's Sky Sword? Looking at the Emperor's Sky Sword in Yi Chenfeng's hand, the mysterious soul in the devil hand exclaimed, "Who exactly are you? The person who will kill you." 7 killing halos appeared behind Yi Chenfeng. The rumbling killing power, Heaven Dao pattern, Sword Dao pattern, Thunder Dao pattern, and Death Dao pattern were all infused into the Emperorian celestial sword. An unparalleled sword aura surged out and slashed the demonic hand with unstoppable force. TSK. After being attacked by Yi Chenfeng's all-out sword at close range, a deep sword scar appeared on the surface of the two devil hands. Streams of black blood flowed out. Eternal Silence Millstone. When the devil hand was injured by Yi Chenfeng, the devil shadow behind Yu Bingyu turned into 2 terrifying millstones. They distorted the void and blasted at the devil hand, worsening its injuries. Break! A furious roar sounded. The injuries worsened, and the mysterious soul in the 2 devil hands was infuriated. Its fist shook the universe, and the terrifying attack shattered the 2 Eternal Silence millstones. Man-weapon union, cleave. The moment the Eternal Silence millstones shattered, Mo Wuang fused with the Sky Demonic Dao soldier. A black lightning-like saber light cleaved down like a raging sea towards the devil hand. Facing the saber light attack of Mo Wuang's man-weapon union, the devil hand surged with boundless demonic chi and grabbed at the Sky Demonic Dao soldier. Boom! Boom! The Sky Demonic Dao soldier was grabbed by the devil hand, and a series of violent explosions sounded. Not good, it wants to snatch the Dao soldier. Seeing the Sky Demonic Dao soldier being grabbed by the devil hand, Mo Wuang's face changed. If the devil hand was able to snatch the Sky Demonic Dao soldier away, it would be a disaster for them. Yi Chenfeng, Yu Zhongtian, and the others also felt the severity of the situation. They all executed their strongest attacks and blasted at the devil hand, not giving it a chance to snatch the Sky Demonic Dao soldier away. However, the devil hand's defense was too terrifying. It was determined to snatch the Sky Demonic Dao soldier away, causing Mo Wuang to gradually lose control of the Sky Demonic Dao soldier. The Heavenly Dao is heartless. Yi Chenfeng gritted his teeth. 7 Heavenly Dao runes shot out from his body and transformed into the might of the Heavenly Dao. They roared and blasted at the devil hand. After fusing 7 Heavenly Dao runes, The Heavenly Tao's heartless attack reached an extremely terrifying level. However, it was still unable to shake the Devil Hand. As the Devil Hand exploded with earth-shattering power, Mo Wuang's chest shook. Large amounts of blood spurted out from his mouth. Like a kite with a broken string, he fell from the sky and crashed heavily onto the ground. He was severely injured. Sky Demonic Tao Soldier, I've finally taken you back. You can all die now. Holding the Sky Demonic Tao Soldier, the mysterious soul in the Devil Hand let out a savage roar. In an instant, its aura exploded to the maximum. The saber slashed down like a mountain. With terrifying destructive power, it slashed towards Yi Chunfeng and the others. PFFF. When Yi Chunfeng and the others combined their powers to unleash their Tao techniques on the Tao soldiers that had been slashed down, a series of explosions rang out. Yi Chunfeng and the others' attacks were all destroyed by the Devil Hand's saber. The terrifying destructive power slammed into their bodies and sent them flying. They were severely injured. After severely injuring Yi Chunfeng and the others, the Devil Hand continued to attack. It slashed out rays of destructive saber light. It wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng and the others in one fell swoop and devour their blood. At the critical moment, the sword puppet finally severed the connection between the temple and the mid-grade heaven crystal and devoured it. In the next moment, a powerful aura erupted from the sword spirit puppet's body. After devouring the mid-tier heaven crystal, the sword spirit puppet's strength increased steadily. For a short period of time, it possessed the strength of a level 3 beast emperor. With an indestructible body, it stood in front of Yi Chunfeng, blocking Mo Shou's fatal attack. It will be published tomorrow. Everyone can support the original reading. Also, Yun Lei will be releasing a picture of Shadow next week. If you want to see it, please add the WeChat public account, YLTY83, or search for Yun Lei Tian Yu on the public account. Remember the URL. Sanwu Chinese Network. Chapter 611. When the Devil Hand saw the sword puppet blocking the Sky Demon Tao soldier with its body, he was shocked by the sword puppet's defensive strength. At Yen. Don't retreat. Attack with all your might, or we will all die here. While the sword puppet blocked the attacks of the Sky Demon Tao soldier, Yi Chunfeng quickly drank a mouthful of the water of heavenly fate and shouted at the heavily injured Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang, and the rest. Bloodline ignition. Blood and Qi ignition. After the Sky Demon Tao soldier was taken away by the Devil Hand, Yu Zhongtian and the rest could smell the thick threat of death. Helpless, they burned their blood and Qi power and transformed into beast soul forms to attack with all their might, thinking of all ways to destroy the Devil Hand. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Scarlet Thunder Pearl, destroy. At this time, Yi Chunfeng also summoned his 2 trump cards, releasing the Vermilion Bird Fire and Thunder of Death. They continuously bombarded the Devil Hand, worsening its injuries. Damn it, what is this thing? The Devil Hand controlled the Sky Demon Tao soldier to attack fiercely for an incense stick's time, but it was completely blocked by the sword puppet's indestructible body. It was unable to harm Yi Chunfeng and the rest at all. Yi Chunfeng and the rest seized the opportunity when the sword puppet was defending with all its might to continuously damage the Devil Hand. Large amounts of black blood flowed out of the Devil Hand. Sky Demon Tao soldier, return. As the Devil Hand's injuries worsened, Mo Wuang constantly communicated with the Sky Demon Tao soldier. Through their connection, he tried to summon the Sky Demon Tao soldier back. Although the Sky Demon Tao soldier was once Mo's weapon, it had now been refined by Mo Wuang. Under Mo Wuang's continuous summoning, it began to resist the Devil Hand, greatly weakening its offensive strength. 7 Swords of Judgment, Heaven Crushing. With the Devil Hand's attacks suppressed by Yu Zhongtian and the rest, Yi Chunfeng immediately used his killing move. The surging power of slaughter, several great intents, and over 20 million gene of strength fused into the Emperor's celestial sword. A heaven-crushing sword that contained boundless destructive power slashed towards the Devil Hand. For a moment, Heaven and earth changed color and thunder roared. The terrifying heaven-collapsing sword forcefully cut open a bone-deep sword mark on the demonic hand that was as hard as a pseudo-Tao treasure. It almost cut off the finger of the demonic hand. Sky Devil Tao soldiers, come back. Mo Wang continued to summon the Sky Devil Tao soldier. Finally, he managed to summon it back from the devil hand. After losing the Sky Demon Tao soldiers, the demon hand's attack power was greatly reduced. Coupled with the sword puppet's suppression, the demon hand was no longer a threat to Yi Qinfeng and the others. 10 Directions Demonic Slash. Summoning the Sky Demon Tao soldier, Mo Wang infused it with his qi and blood, soul power, and the will of the great Tao. He slashed out a cross slash at the hand, wanting to shatter it in one fell swoop. Seeing that the heavily injured demon hand was about to be struck by the cross slash, demon hand decisively gave up on a head-on clash. Like two meteors, they bombarded the cracked and weakened suppression spell. Bang bang! The demon hand's full-powered attack broke through the seal and disappeared into the Black Temple, escaping without a trace. We finally chased that demon hand away. Seeing the heavily injured demon hand escape, Yu Zhongtian and the others heaved a sigh of relief and sat down on the ground, panting heavily. Yu Zhongtian, you bunch of idiots, from now on, we'll go our separate ways and have nothing to do with each other. Yi Qinfeng looked at the fearful Yu Zhongtian and the others and said with some annoyance, "Wait, Yi Qinfeng, I know that I was a little impulsive just now." Although Yu Zhongtian was unwilling to follow Yi Qinfeng, after witnessing Yi Qinfeng's heaven-defying methods, he knew that he still had to rely on Yi Qinfeng. Thus, he spoke up helplessly. "Fine, you guys can follow me if you want. But you have to give me that Tao tool. Otherwise, there's nothing to talk about." Yi Qinfeng stared coldly at Yu Zhongtian and the others and demanded an exorbitant price. "Yi Qinfeng, don't go too far." Hearing that Yi Qinfeng was actually asking for the Sky Demon Tao tool, Mo Wang's face darkened and he roared in anger. "You're going too far." Yi Qinfeng sneered. "Because of your ignorance, you released that demon hand and caused us to fall into a predicament. Shouldn't I make you guys pay a price?" Hearing Yi Qinfeng's words, a terrifying baleful aura emanated from Mo Wang's body and locked onto Yi Qinfeng. "What, you want to fight?" Yi Qinfeng sneered and said domineeringly, "Although you've obtained a Tao tool, if I want to kill you, you won't have the chance to live. If you don't believe me, you can try." Hearing Yi Qinfeng's arrogant words, Mo Wang was about to explode. However, when he thought about the sword puppet's impenetrable defense, he knew that Yi Qinfeng was not just trying to scare him. He truly had the ability to kill him. After intimidating Mo Wang and the others, Yi Qinfeng did not waste any more words with them. He summoned his soul wings and flew directly to the top of the palace that was engraved with a large number of ancient runes that formed a mysterious diagram. The reason why Yi Qinfeng flew to the top of the palace was because his powerful soul spirit had sensed the aura of a treasure there. When he was about to leave, he wanted to take the treasure. "Break!" Yi Qinfeng bellowed. 40 sword Tao patterns shot out and bombarded the roof of the palace. They forcibly broke open the concealment restriction on the roof and revealed a white bone that was half a meter long. It contained a powerful dragon's might and was sealed on the roof. Dragon bone! When the half-meter-long white bone was revealed, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang's eyes lit up. They never expected that this palace would actually hide a priceless dragon bone. Snatch it! Since they had already shed all pretense of cordiality with Yi Qinfeng, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang no longer had any reservations. They both soared into the sky, wanting to snatch this dragon bone that was enough to drive combat beast emperors crazy. Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wang's reaction could be said to be extremely fast. However, Yi Qinfeng was even faster. He quickly unleashed a force of 10 million jin and tore open the seal. He forcefully pulled out the white dragon bone and stored it in the universe mirror. Ghost God's Claw! great demon-slaying dragon blade. The moment Yi Chunfeng snatched the dragon bone, Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang both executed powerful Dao techniques to attack Yi Chunfeng. They wanted to join forces and severely injure him. Just as the two powerful Dao techniques were about to strike Yi Chunfeng, the sword puppet suddenly stood in front of Yi Chunfeng, using its own body to block these fatal attacks. Merciless Heavenly Dao. In the instant that the sword puppet blocked the attacks, 6 Heavenly Dao runes gushed out of Yi Chunfeng's body, transforming into Heavenly Dao energy that blasted towards the two of them at close range. Sky Demon Dao Soldier, break! The Heavenly Dao energy whistled through the air. Mo Wuang ignored the exhaustion of his body and continuously infused soul power into the Sky Demon Dao Soldier, slashing out with all his might. Borrowing the terrifying offensive power of the Sky Demon Dao Soldier, he forcefully broke the Heavenly Dao's merciless Heavenly Dao. 1. The Heavenly Dao's merciless Heavenly Dao was shattered. A tyrannical sword ray pierced through the void, splitting the sword puppet's body and slashing towards Mo Wuang. After fusing with the Heaven Crystal, the sword puppet's strength had reached the level of a Grade 3 combat beast emperor. Its sword was extremely destructive, directly slashing Yu Zhongtian and Mo Wuang, who were defending with all their might, to the ground. Large amounts of blood spurted from their mouth. "You'd better not provoke me again. Otherwise, I'll definitely kill you." Yi Chunfeng looked down at Mo Wuang and Yu Zhongtian, who were vomiting blood and were heavily injured. He hesitated whether he should take this opportunity to kill them. However, when he thought of the heaven-defying trump cards that Yu Zhongtian and Yu Zhongtian had, he decided that now wasn't the best time to kill them. He gave up on the idea of taking the risk and flew out of the Black Shrine with the sword puppet. "Wait, I'll go with you." The moment Yi Chunfeng flew out of the Black Shrine, the tall and slender figure wearing a silver mask, giving off a mysterious feeling, chased after him and left together with Yi Chunfeng. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You'll be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blogs, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 612. The desert was deathly silent, and there was no sign of life. 7777777276 6F6474772E636 F6D Chunfeng and Shadow fought their way out of the encirclement of the undead creatures like a hot knife through butter. They deciphered the illusions in the starry sky and flew through the desolate grassland for about a day before arriving at a crimson forest. "Why are you following me?" Yi Chunfeng looked at Shadow, who had been following him without saying a word, and asked in a low voice. "Because I feel that it's the safest to be by your side," Shadow said slowly, making it impossible for others to guess her true thoughts. "Is that really so?" Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly. He didn't believe Shadow's explanation. "Other than safety, I feel that I can obtain more opportunities by being by your side," Shadow continued to explain. "Do you think I would give you the opportunity in the Dragon Abyss for free?" Yi Chunfeng said without a trace of emotion. "Yi Chunfeng, don't worry. I won't ask for your favor, nor will I try to win your sympathy. I will fight for my own opportunities with my own abilities. Besides, I believe that I have the ability to do so." Shadow looked at Yi Chunfeng with a burning gaze. "Shadow, you can follow me, but I have a request," Yi Chunfeng said with a playful smile. "What request?" Shadow asked. "Take off your mask. I'm not used to being with someone wearing a mask," Yi Chunfeng requested as he looked at the mysterious Shadow, who made it impossible for others to guess her true thoughts. This. Shadow hesitated when she heard Yi Chunfeng's request. She didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to make such a request. "Shadow, you don't have a choice. If you don't want to, then let's part ways here," Yi Chunfeng said coldly. "All right, I'll take it off." Shadow raised her head slightly and looked at Yi Chunfeng. She pursed her lips and undid the seal on the silver mask. She reached out and took it off, revealing a white, delicate face that didn't match her status. I didn't think that the eldest disciple of the Dark Shadow Tower, who was feared by everyone on the Western continent, would have such a beautiful face. Looking at Shadow's crescent-shaped eyebrows, intelligent eyes, high nose bridge, and thin red lips, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to let you go. Are you satisfied now?" Shadow didn't get angry when she heard Yi Chunfeng's teasing. She looked straight at him and asked with neither joy nor sadness. "Very satisfied." Yi Chunfeng nodded, purposely testing her. He said, "I want to refine that dragon bone here and increase my strength further. Help protect me then." "Okay." Ying nodded and agreed without hesitation. "Boss, do you really believe her?" Yi Chunfeng walked into the depths of the Red Forest and took out the precious half-meter dragon bone. When he was about to put it into the Suzaku cauldron to refine, the chaotic divine beast's voice rang in his head. "I don't believe her," Yi Chunfeng replied telepathically. "If you don't believe her, then why did you keep her by your side and look at her face on purpose? But to be honest, that little girl is quite pretty and has a hot body. Boss, are you interested in her and want to take her down here to vent your beast?" The Chaos Divine Beast teased him. "I asked her to take off her mask because I don't want her to hide her expression and thoughts. That would be very dangerous. Alright, stop talking nonsense. Protect me. I'm going to refine this dragon bone." After that, Yi Chunfeng stopped talking nonsense with the chaotic divine beast. He put the priceless half-meter dragon bone into the Suzaku cauldron and poured the black skyfire into the cauldron to refine it. Suddenly, waves of heat were released from the Suzaku cauldron and filled the void, burning the air and distorting it. When Yi Chunfeng controlled the Suzaku cauldron to refine the half-meter dragon bone, Shadow, who was sitting cross-legged in the distance, closed her eyes after a glance. However, her soul spirit radiated out to sense the movements around her. After more than 2 hours, the half-meter dragon bone was completely melted under the Suzaku cauldron's refinement. The impurities in the dragon bone essence were also burned out by the black skyfire. However, this half-meter dragon bone had existed for too long. More than half of the dragon bone essence had been forcefully extracted by someone. Therefore, the Suzaku cauldron could not extract much of the dragon bone essence. It was only the size of a longan. Devour. After extracting the dragon bone essence, Yi Chunfeng immediately opened the lid of the cauldron. He sucked out the dragon bone essence that was the size of a longan and as hot as fire and swallowed it into his stomach. Boom! As soon as the dragon bone essence entered Yi Chunfeng's body, it exploded with boundless energy. It flowed through Yi Chunfeng's blood vessels and meridians, destroying his physical body. Immediately, a heart-wrenching pain spread through Yi Chunfeng's body. It was so painful that the veins on his forehead bulged. Cold sweat dripped down his forehead as his body trembled uncontrollably. As the dragon bone essence released more and more energy, Yi Chunfeng's pain grew more and more intense. However, he relied on his unyielding will to endure the pain. He circulated the soul-devouring arcana and the divine 9 transformations to refine the dragon bone essence. As his soul force increased, he attempted to condense the 5th soul orb in his head. If he could condense the 5th soul orb, Yi Chunfeng's physical strength would increase by leaps and bounds. While Yi Chunfeng was hiding in the Crimson Forest, refining the dragon bone essence under the protection of Shadow, Yu Zhongtian, Mo Wuang, and the others, who had mostly recovered from their injuries, teamed up to explore the desolate prairie, which was full of dangers, in search of other great opportunities. However, Ziyun was not in their team. Knowing that he was not strong enough, Ziyun gave up the idea of continuing to explore the Dragon Abyss. He stayed in the relatively safe Black Divine Palace to cultivate and wait for the Dragon Abyss to close so that he could be teleported out. Ancient compass, ultimate guidance. Confused by the stars in the sky, Yu Zhongtian and the others were lost in the desolate grassland. With no other choice, Yu Zhongtian could only spit out mouthfuls of blood essence and fuse them into the ancient compass, illuminating it with the ultimate guiding light as he tried to find a way to leave this grassland. After a few days of cultivation and enduring the inhumane torture, Yi Chunfeng had basically absorbed the dragon bone essence. His strength had increased, and his dragon bloodline had strengthened. At the same time, he had faintly condensed the embryonic form of the fifth soul orb. Just his physical strength alone had reached 12 million jin. Adding on the increase in his cultivation level, Yi Chunfeng's physical strength had reached 14 million jin. If I can find a few more dragon bones like this, I should be able to cultivate the first stage of the Atman body realm of the God transformation stage to the perfection stage. At that time, just relying on my physical strength alone, I should be able to fight against a rank 1 combat beast emperor expert. After refining the dragon bone essence, Yi Chunfeng engraved the 10 sword Dao runes on the tip of the Empyrean sword into the God-Eater brain and quickly deduced them. After cultivating the sword Dao to the 4th heavenly layer, Yi Chunfeng's understanding of the sword Dao was already very deep. In less than a day, he had comprehended the 10 sword Dao runes in the Empyrean sword art and cultivated the sword Dao to the terrifying 5th heavenly layer. Let's go! After his strength had increased, Yi Chunfeng let out a breath of turbid air and slowly stood up. He looked at Ying, who was sitting cross-legged, and brought her out of the red forest. Relying on the God-Eater brain's deduction, they quickly went deep into the dragon abyss to search for other opportunities. After around 4 days, Yi Chunfeng and Ying passed through layers of illusions and arrived at a desolate, deathly still corpse mound filled with strange tombs. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 613. Follow me. Don't wander off. And Yen. The eerie wind howled as they flew into the eerie corpse mound. Yi Chunfeng used the God-Eater brain to find that the starry sky illusion power in the corpse mound had disappeared. Instead, it was replaced by an extremely oppressive death power. Okay. Ying, who was wearing a thin white veil, nodded and followed closely behind Yi Chunfeng, walking towards the burial mound that was filled with graves. That is another black temple. Yi Chunfeng led Shadow through the corpse mound for more than 2 hours. He could vaguely see a tall black temple in the depths of the corpse mound. It was swallowing all the light around it. Around this black temple, there was a large amount of black air current floating. It was like a surging tide, sweeping through the space with turbulent waves. The Black Temple. Shadow also discovered the Black Temple. Her face changed. She looked at Yi Chunfeng and said, "That Black Temple will not suppress the other parts of the demon, will it?" "That is possible." Yi Chunfeng revealed a meaningful smile. He looked at her and said, "Why? Are you scared? If you are, you should hurry. You don't want to lose your life there. If you retreat, how can you chase after the ultimate opportunity and the ultimate path?" "If you don't retreat, I won't retreat either," Shadow said firmly. "Okay. If that is the case, let's go. Let's see what is in that Black Temple." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng took Shadow and flew towards the black godly palace that was filled with strange auras. What a scary death power! The death power in this corpse mound should be 9 layers gathered in this black air. Otherwise, the death power here would not be so scary. When Yi Chunfeng landed outside the Black Divine Palace, he frowned slightly when he saw the surging chi currents enveloping the Black Divine Palace. Although he could not feel the great danger in the black air that was like a big river or lake, the attack power of the black air made him feel a strong sense of danger. "Shadow, do you still want to go in?" Yi Chunfeng turned his head and looked at Shadow, who was wearing a white veil, and asked in a low voice. "Let's not waste any more time. Let's go in, Shadow said in a calm voice. No one could see through her true thoughts. All right, let's go. Looking into Shadow's fearless eyes, Yi Chunfeng did not waste any more time. He brought her into the black airflow that flowed at an extremely fast speed and swallowed all light. Chi. Walking into the turbulent black airflow, Yi Chunfeng immediately felt pain on his skin, as if countless blades were scraping his skin, trying to tear his body apart. However, after refining half of the dragon bone, Yi Chunfeng's physical strength and defense had increased slightly. He was able to completely withstand the black air current attack. Meanwhile, Shadow's defense was far inferior to Yi Chunfeng's. He could only rely on his heaven-grade battle suit to resist the ferocious attacks of the black gas as he followed Yi Chunfeng closely. Well, what's that? While enduring the attacks of the black air current, Yi Chunfeng and Shadow were like two lone boats that braved the wind and waves. After traveling for more than 10 breaths of time, they realized that there was a large number of black balls in the black air current. They crushed the space and flew towards them at an extremely fast speed. Extreme ancient heavenly thunder, black flame heavenly fire break. Dozens of black balls flew over. Yi Chunfeng immediately blasted out the heavenly thunder and heavenly fire to meet them. Rumble, 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 rumble. When the endless heavenly thunder and heavenly fire bombarded the black balls, they exploded. Waves of earth-shattering explosions echoed, causing the black air current to surge violently and rush towards Yi Chunfeng like a tidal wave. Sword-based Tao pattern break. As the black air current surged over, 50 sword-based Tao patterns gushed out from Yi Chunfeng's body and converged into a light sword with irresistible force. It slashed through the air current and went against the flow. Dozens of black light balls were destroyed by Yi Chunfeng. The surging black air current formed a large number of black light balls that flew over and bombarded Yi Chunfeng and Shadow. After being attacked by a large number of black light balls, even Yi Chunfeng's tough physical body couldn't withstand it. Large amounts of blood flowed out from his cracked skin and dyed his body red. Shadow's injuries were even more severe. The white veil on her face had already turned into ashes. Blood flowed down from her forehead and dyed her absolutely beautiful face red. Her heaven-grade battle suit was deformed and seeped out with large amounts of blood. Just as Yi Chunfeng wanted to summon the sword puppet to resist the black light balls and kill his way to the Black Divine Hall, he was stunned by the scene in front of him. He saw that outside the Black Divine Hall, there were tens of thousands of black light balls floating and sealing off his path. He had a feeling that if these tens of thousands of black light balls exploded at the same time, even if he transformed into his strongest godfiend body, he wouldn't be able to withstand the explosive force that was enough to destroy the spatial zone. While he was hesitating, Yi Chunfeng noticed that the black light balls floating around the Black Divine Hall moved. They dragged their black tails and flew over at extreme speed. Not good. Seeing the rapidly approaching black light balls, Yi Chunfeng and Shadow's expression changed at the same time. Yi Chunfeng didn't even think as he quickly retreated with Shadow. Both of them jumped into a hole that was created by the terrifying explosion and summoned the sword puppet. Boom! Boom! The moment the sword puppet used its body to seal the space above the two of them, a large number of black light balls poured down like rain. They poured out the destructive force and bombarded the sword puppet. The terrifying sound was like the roar of a thunder god. It shook the heavens and the earth as it surged in all directions and bombarded the sword puppet, causing the entire space to distort. Feeling the destructive power of the black light balls, Shadow was so frightened that her face turned pale. Her body trembled, and without thinking, she jumped into Yi Chunfeng's arms and hugged him tightly, seeking protection. Godfiend bloodline ignition, Godfiend body. Although the sword puppet blocked 90% of the destructive force, 10% of the force still penetrated through the cracks and attacked Yi Chunfeng's body, cracking his skin. With no other choice, Yi Chunfeng, who was hugging Shadow's hot body, could only ignite his Godfiend bloodline ignition and transform into his strongest Godfiend body to resist the attack. The tens of thousands of black light balls bombarded the Black Divine Hall for more than an hour before gradually subsiding. As for the hole that Yi Chunfeng and Shadow were hiding in, a huge hole that was dozens of meters deep appeared. It was a mess. "Let's go." The heavily injured Yi Chunfeng looked at the chaotic space above his head and flew into the sky with the sword puppet. He rushed into the destructive storm and forcefully passed through it, wanting to use this opportunity to fly out of the Black Divine Hall. Shadow saw that Yi Chunfeng did not care about her life and knew that he did not trust her. She bit her lips and ignored her injuries as she followed Yi Chunfeng and rushed towards the Black Divine Hall. "Break for me." Yi Chunfeng forcefully passed through the destructive storm. When he neared the Black Divine Palace, he infused his 24 million kilograms of force into the Empyrean Celestial Sword, increasing its attacking power to the greatest extent. As he became one with his weapon, he slashed towards the restrictions outside the Divine Palace. 1. After receiving Yi Chunfeng's all-out attack, ripples appeared on the restrictions of the Black Divine Hall. A large number of cracks spread out from the tip of the Emperor Heaven Sword. The next moment, the sword puppet transformed into a sword and struck the spatial ripples. It broke through the restrictions outside the Black Divine Hall and flew out of the Black Divine Hall with Shadow. When they flew out of the Black Divine Hall, a blurry shadow appeared in the chaotic space. This shadow was that pair of terrifying demonic hands. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.